All right, guys, stand by. Live on the radio in 5, 4, 3, 2.
This is the M Zone.
And welcome to the M Zone. Jamie Morris, Matt the Hitman Missler, best guy in the Bizzler, in the center of attention. My man Larry Lee, Big Sweet himself.
Yo.
In the man cave. I'm in a man cave, and Miz is at the home crib doing his thing.
My man cave.
All right.
My man cave. No one else's man cave.
I think there's an announcement that needs to be made, gentlemen. The M Zone will be traveling to the Hall of Fame to join in the festivities in Canton, Michigan, Canton, Ohio. Canton, Ohio.
O-A-I-O.
Oh, God.
Jamie,
I was all good with it until you start singing that chant. I hate that chant.
You know what, Jamie? It's okay because you know why we're going down there. It's not just because it's a festive situation that happens down the weekend of July 31st. Well, what happens on July 31st is one thing, and one thing more importantly is hearing. It ain't gonna be the same, but we'll hear this loud and proud.
Go Lions!
Well,
Yeah.
you know, Miz and Jamie, I'm really fortunate, man. I'll be sweating because I go on our show, and guess what I get to do in the middle of our show?
You get to do the passion. That's your passion.
I get to leave and go with my band to play the pregame party in the parking lot as people enter the stadium with my 10-piece band, and we're gonna have some fun, man. So I'll be doing double duty. And I hope y'all don't mind if I step out a little early on the 31st.
No, that's fine. That's gonna be good for you. We want you to do your thing, and we're gonna be down in Canton, Ohio, at the Hall of Fame. We're gonna be part of that press party that's gonna be down there. And hopefully, we get a lot of players to come by and see us. Some of the great ones to come through and talk with us and tell us about the emotions that they felt when they got into the Hall of Fame. We also just want to get some of them Lions, and we want to get some. You know why the passion here in Ann Arbor. Jim Harbaugh is the head coach of the LA Chargers. Go Chargers, go!
Man, that's going to be like a semi-homecoming. And, I've been saying on my website that this will be the first time, or maybe the only time, that Michigan and Ohio will party together.
That's true. That's true. We don't like each other too much, but we know how to party with them.
That's right. We're going to party with Michigan and Ohio. It's going to be a big party. And then soon as the game is over, we'll go back to hating them, or they hate each other, or y'all hate us, or we hate y'all, or however it goes.
It's not really hate. It's just, there's mutual respect amongst one another. There are mutual respect. Look, it ain't like you Michigan State or anything.
I mean, Jamie does not reflect the views that I have, because after July 31st, after all zeros hit, it goes back to me rooting for Texas to beat Ohio State on August the 30th. It's right back to business as usual. That's all it is. But there's no love lost.
When I start having on some Ohio State guys, I don't want no technical difficulties.
difficulty. These are gonna be fun, guys, because I remember all of them. I remember Boomer and Keith Byers. I don't remember him, but I remember when he hit me. It's Pepper Johnson.
Yeah, you don't remember it, but you know him.
Right, I know him well.
Well, Sweet, I promise you this, that and any friend and guest of yours is going to be a friend of ours, and I promise I will be on my best behavior, and I will make sure that all technical capabilities are working fine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, boy. Thank you for your kindness and your professionalism. And we got something to admit. Jamie heard me say something earlier today that he couldn't wait. He said, "Oh man, Miz needs to hear this." Man, I what did I say, Jamie?
Tell him. I'll be letting you tell him.
All right. So we were talking about a scenario, a potential guest coming on and all that, and then I said, "Well, now that I'm a somewhat converted Wolverine, somewhat a converted Wolverine, we might be able to do this and do that and that and this and that and this." And first thing Jamie said was, "Oh my God, I gotta tell Miz." Oh my, yeah, man. What did you just say? I said, since I'm kind of, sort of, little bit so much converted Wolverine.
It's not being converted. It's in your heart. You just gotta let it out. It's always been there. It's always been there. I tell everybody that.
Somewhat, little bit, so much, maybe, kind of, sort of, kind of deal. So he couldn't wait for us to share that with you.
I knew we'd get you. I knew we'd bring you in. I knew we'd get you. I knew we'd get you.
Okay, it's a brotherhood thing. Okay,
it is.
I feel a brotherhood. I'm starting to feel a little brotherhood with the Wolverine contingency, a brotherhood. I'm not baptized yet, but I am, semi. You know how, Jamie, you know how it is when you're at church and they say those of you who, would like to join this church and do this thing,
Right.
come up now. So I'm sitting in the pew. I haven't walked up to the front yet, but I'm sitting in the pew.
Right. You sitting and watching and learning. You seeing what's happening. You got a chance to see the Revenant.
The weapons, and then, it's hard for me to go against my old line brother, Brother Moore, Coach Moore. It's hard, hard not to support another old line brother. So, you're working on me. You're working on me.
Yeah. Well, you're getting to see how it's built, how this sausage is built too. See how we put it together.
I got you.
And here's the thing, Sweet, is that I mean, Prince would bless you in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Around here, we gonna bless you in the waters of the Huron River. And right.
Well, you sure know how to get me, because anything musically, a musical reference will work to help bring me over. And everybody knows I'm a music guy, man. Been a bass player all my life, and had this band for 23 years, and we've been around the world with everybody from Chaka Khan to everybody. So, man, you know how to get me. I'm a music guy as well as a football guy.
Well, the best thing about that is this band. Let's just say this band, your whole band passion has brought us all together. And
yes,
we're Miz and I. We call ourselves music lovers. We love music, all kinds of music. So, I mean, you. I said I ain't your age, but we right around the same age, and I'm saying the music is the music I know, and I was raised on.
I'm a old school music aficionado. Any genre, funk, blues, jazz, rock and roll, classic rock, man, we can go there. I'm not so up to the top 40 today and all that stuff, but I do. I am familiar with the Billie Eilishes and all of them, man. I listen to it all. But when it comes to that old school, I'm the dude. I'm a walking encyclopedia.
I don't know what kids be listening to now. I don't know how they listen to it.
I know some of this stuff, but you know what, Jamie? In reality, a lot of the stuff they listen to today is a sample of what we listened to yesterday, back in the day.
Agreed.
So it just turns over. They add a few little rhymes to it and a couple of little riffs here and there, but they're using the old school music, which will never go away. My band, the name of the band is Back in the Day, and man, we're playing songs 30, 40, 50 years old that are still jamming. You can't go wrong with you can't go wrong with Ohio players, that kind of stuff. So that's what we focus on.
Well, that's good music, and we love it. And, we're going to have fun down in Canton, Ohio. I look forward to it. It's a very prestigious site for a lot of people. And, people travel there. They go to but we like it. Remember, it's your Detroit Lions, Detroit out there. Metro Detroit, your Lions, your first opportunity to see the Lions on the field.
One Pride Nation coming.
You know what? It could be an awfully nice day trip. Get up in the morning, fill your tank up, come over to Canton, Ohio, and partake in the festivities, listen to the show, check out the band, and if you're fortunate enough, go to the game. But if not, still come on over and party, and then you can get back on the road and be home before midnight.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's it. That's it right there.
Be good times indeed by everyone. We're gonna have a blast down there in Canton, broadcasting live. We're gonna be down there Wednesday and Thursday, correct?
Wednesday
Jamie?
and Thursday.
So July the 30th, the day before the Hall of Fame game, and then July 31st will be the day of the game. So we'll be there broadcasting from our usual time, 3 to 6. And I know on Thursday, I believe our good friends over in Detroit at WJR, including Big Sweet's former colleague and teammate, who is one of the color commentators for the Detroit Lions Radio Network, and Lomas Brown and Anthony Bellino will be doing their show down there as well with Sports Rap following our show.
The Bills Mills. I want to just thank y'all for making the announcement. My boy Big Sweet is over there in the Lions, and we're gonna do our thing, and we're gonna have some fun on WJR. This is Lomas Brown. Thank y'all so much. I've been doing Lomas since his rookie year in 1985.
Lomas is great people. AB is awesome people. It's just gonna be a good time down there as we get ready for it.
Oh my God, that just cracked me up. I almost spit on my coffee.
What do you want to cracking up for, Jamie? I'll just say, Big Sweet and the Lions, we played together at the Lions, and then I just started doing the radio with Dan Miller and the WJR and everything, and we've been doing good for that ever since. And it's pleasure meeting you, Miss. I think I've known you because you do the JR stuff sometime too. So thank y'all. Big Sweet, yo!
Hi.
That's my boy. I love him. I love him like a brother.
Oh my goodness. We gotta have Lomas come on too. That would be. I want to hear them two voices come.
We used to do that. We used to. And Lomas get mad at me like, Big Sweet, come on. No, Lomas. Look, come on. And we got some funny locker room stories, man. And I'll share one with you. My locker was about 4 or 5 lockers away from Lomas's. But every day when we come back from practice, somehow, some way, I don't know how, my underwear would end up over near Lomas's locker. Okay. And I said, Lomas, is there something you need to tell us or something, man? And man, I don't know what happened. And Lomas says, I used to take when I get dressed, I used to take my underwear and sling them off my foot, and they ended up over by his locker. So it's probably something I shouldn't have shared, but I said, Lomas, is something you need to tell us, man? Why? how does my underwear always end up over near your locker, man? You know, that, so that's funny, man. Little inside scoop.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
all right, we gonna remember that one.
That's my boy.
I'm gonna call him the Slinger now.
And then when I got traded, actually when I got claimed off waivers to the Dolphins from the Lions, Lomas and Kevin Glover rented out my house while I was in Miami.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's good, right?
so it worked.
Good.
And
That worked out.
he used to tease me saying they found pizza boxes under the bed and all that kind of stuff, man. So we've been going at it for years, man, ever since 1985. Like I said, I love Lomas Brown like a brother.
Well, there you go. I got teammates like that too. I got college teammates. I got Wilbur Marshall was one of my closest guys. Well, I was his rookie. When I came in, this is when Wilbur, remember when free agency became? Wilbur was one of the first free agents. He left the Chicago Bears and to the Redskins, remember?
Right. I remember, yeah.
I got drafted, so he's like, he's sitting across from me and he's shaking his head. He's like, he looks at me and goes, "You my rookie." I'm gonna tell him, "Oh, you my rookie." I'm like, "Wow, okay, what's that entail?"
Man,
well, I got breakfast in the morning. I did whatever he wanted me to do, but nobody messed with me because everybody know how Wilbur was. He was quiet. You know, he was quiet. Quiet.
Man,
with the quiet ones.
I told you the story. Every time we played the Bears twice a year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
From the opening whistle to the last bell or whatever. Man, look, Wilbur Marshall, and he had that little high voice. Y'all can't block me. You hold. I'm like, Wilbur, will you just shut up and play football? He talked from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, talking mess.
That's his game, getting in the head. You want to get into that head.
I used to get back with him. Wilbur, just shut the F up and get back in the huddle. Let's play some ball. No, you can't block me. Shut up. You can't block me. I was like, oh my God. But great player.
Yeah, there's a few guys out there. Wilbur is great. Doug Williams, a set near Doug. I was in that what you call the avenue, the high rank district. You know,
yeah.
I shouldn't have been in that row, but I was in that row. I'm like, what am I doing in this row?
No, man, the Skins then, now Commanders, they were a force to be reckoned with, man. I mean, you and I have had several conversations about your D line. You know, I'm going against Dave Butts and Charles Mann and Darryl Grant and Dexter Manley, and those are some Neil Okowitz and man, I can't forget. Those were some great times. I remember Butts, man. Butts was just a beast.
He was a huge man.
He was a huge man, and I never forget, we had an even front and we had some kind of sweep, and I was at center. I snapped the ball and then pulled around to the right, and I looked back to the inside. And here comes Butts with a full head of steam. I gotta make a business decision on this one.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna take him up high with all that momentum going, so I'm gonna cut him. Man, I cut his legs from under him. He must have slid about 10, 15 yards past me. That's how much momentum he had going, man. I watched it on film. I said, I'm not taking that man straight up with that momentum coming like that.
Try being a rookie and running the sweep with the backups blocking him. They made business decisions too, and I ain't saying they made they made the same decision I would have made, and then I had to make a decision. I think I can outrun him if I got to be quick on it.
Now, Jamie, refresh my memory. The linebacking core was like Mel Kaufman. Who else was that? Neil Okowitz.
Got Neil right. You had. Okay, I had Wilbur out there, and then I had Monty Coleman. Remember Monty Coleman?
Monty Coleman, yes, sir.
That was
Who was the other guy? I thought he was a Fresno State guy or something. Mel Kaufman.
Yeah, Kaufman.
Mel Kaufman, because he ended up marrying Billy Matthews, one of the long time in UCLA and NFL coach's daughter. I forget her name, man. But Mel Kaufman. And in the back, you had Darryl Green.
You have Darryl Green. When I got there, you had Darryl Green. What's the kid's name? God, I'm calling him a kid. He was a second year defensive back out of Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had God, what was the other cornerback? Because they used to go at him instead of going after Darryl, they went at him. But he was a good defensive back too. I got to look this up, man.
Yeah, man. I remember that Washington defense. They were forced to be reckoned with. And then, I was on the wrong sideline during Super Bowl 22 when the Redskins beat us Broncos up.
Yeah, when Doug Williams decided to wake up.
Yeah, I told Doug, he went in the locker room at the second quarter because we got to him or something.
He heard it. He got his knee and he goes, yeah, I just set that up for Jay Schrader. I said, what you do? He said, I jacked his ass off the field.
And I'm torn because Jay was my college quarterback.
I know.
He was like Jay was 3 years behind me. I was a senior when Jay was a freshman or a sophomore, and it was he and the battle then was Tom Ramsey, he and Rick Neuheisel.
Right. And I get it. I get it. But I'm gonna say this: we talk about women being, hold grudges and everything like that. Now the stuff that Jay did to Doug, that was 2 years before. Prior.
Yeah.
What he did to Doug. So when Doug got his chance,
he waved them off.
He waved them off. You don't be waving me off, bro. They sent me in because they thought you got hurt. So won't you just let me come in and then we can come back out? Nope, he waved them off.
Nope. This is my team now, youngster.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was what do you call it? Poetic justice.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. But Doug I went like this. Poetic justice, dude. You rolled. You made that second quarter look like it was like,
Oh man, I thought we were gonna make some noise when Doug went out and because we went up 10-0.
I know exactly what you did. I saw the game.
We scored the first play of the game was a bomb to Ricky Nattil.
Yep, I remember that.
We scored and then we came right back with a field goal after that. That was the last 10 points we saw the whole rest of the day.
I told my mother these two teams are possibly sites for me to go to. She went, okay. I told my mom, I said, hey, these two teams could get me. And next thing I know, she said, the Redskins won. I said,
yeah, man. That was, I was blessed to say I played it. It was in the Super Bowl, was at the Super Bowl, but man, we got our butts kicked that day, man. The Redskins was on fire. And I told you the story. They found out we had a safety that wasn't too agile or too fast. And they started picking on. They found our weakness.
You can't cover grease lightning with a slow guy. I'm just gonna say you tried to put this guy on Ricky Sanders. Are you kidding me? Did they not watch film? Ricky Sanders.
No. They found it out, and we couldn't hide him no more.
My goodness! But that you know what? I think they tried to cover it up, do some cloud or something like that. But Doug wasn't having any of it. Doug went deep when he had to. He was throwing it to the tight ends, the wide receivers, and the running backs. And you guys made it tough for me because you made Timmy Smith look good too. Timmy Smith was running that rock, boy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Doug was on fire. And you're right, Timmy Smith, man. Yeah, we could do. After that 10 points, we could do nothing right. Everything, and I was they had me playing some tight end H-back. And I was scheduled to be the the guy that come in and wham the nose on short yardage and all that. We never got into a short yardage a situation for me to even go in and go in motion and wham the nose. So yeah, it was that was one of the things that did happen with that Super Bowl, and we're friends to this day. Is the night before was the first time the two teams ever got together for a prayer service.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name? The coach of the Redskins. He was Joe was a religious guy, and
he is a religious guy.
And so was Dan Reeves, and our coach. And the first time in Super Bowl history, I don't know if they still do it or not, but the two teams got together for prayer service, and Darrell Green spoke on behalf of the Redskins, and I spoke on behalf of the Broncos. And to this day, me and Darrell Green are still great buddies. I just talked to him the other day, and that's what started our real friendship, because I didn't know Darrell Green until that night, and we've been friends ever since.
Darrell Green is a great human being, a great person. I mean, he wouldn't know you on the streets if you walked up to him and said, "Can I get some help?" He'd break a leg trying to help you. That's the person he was. That's the kind of person he was.
And I'm sorry.
We need to go to a break, and then when we come back, hey, I'm gonna give y'all that list of the 10 best receivers. Got to be some Lions on that list. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know. On the other side, you're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050.
Clear on the radio.
Go.
Do.
What was that song? Hail to the Redskins or something?
Hail to the Redskins. Hail victory. Praise on the warpath. Fight for victory.
Wasn't there one of the fight for old DC or something like that?
That was the ending part.
Okay, yeah. I remember that damn song.
It was like I'm just going to Michigan professional. That's all it was. We got a fight song. Ain't nobody else got a fight song.
Yeah. Then, I finally learned to work forward down the field. The Lions team that will not yield, and the blue and silver wave. Stand and cheer the brave. Rah, rah, rah. Go hard, win the game. With honor, you will keep your fame. Down the field and gain a Lions victory. Go Lions.
I remember them trying to do that. I mean, when the Lions were real bad, they used to sing that song every time they scored a touchdown. And I go,
I know.
Yeah, there ain't nobody gonna sing that song until they win.
Let's see. When I was with the Dolphins, there was one. Oh God, they used to play that damn Dolphin song too.
What Dolphins have a fight song?
Yeah, we had one when I was what to go? Dolphin song, how to go? I can't think of it. Dolphins. Oh, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1. Yes, we're the Miami Dolphins.
Oh no,
Miami Dolphins.
That's the Houston Oilers song. Remember Monday night Houston Oilers game, the Earl Campbell game. Remember that game?
Right.
They said the Houston Oilers, the Houston Oilers, the Houston Oilers #1. That was a pom-pom game. It was like, I'm going to send you. I just watched it. I'm going to send you there.
Well, the Dolphins stole it then.
They did.
Yep. I'm going to see if I can get Marino on with us one day.
That would be great.
Yeah. Yep.
Marino was, when he played for Pitt, that was one of my favorite schools too. I love Pitt too.
Yeah, Pitt. But I tell you what, my senior year, 81. Pitt had 13 guys drafted.
Yeah.
I'm talking. You didn't realize all these. Mark May, Hugh Green.
Mark May was an asshole.
Was he?
You know that? Oh my God, he wasn't the TV Mark May. nowadays, he was instant asshole to everybody.
What? Wow. They had
Watch the profanity.
I'm sorry.
they had Russ Grimm.
Oh, bruh.
Pitt was loaded. They had Russ Grimm. They had Ricky Jackson.
Yep.
Pitt was loaded, man, loaded. And
Pitt
I know
was-
I'm leaving.
That's
leaving
where I
guys-
told you my brother Larry should have went. He didn't go, but I'm like, dude, you go to Pitt, you make it there.
So what was the affinity for Syracuse for your brother?
Joe. They followed their
Okay.
big brother. That's all they
Okay.
did. Hey,
All right.
I said you guys need to don't follow him. Everybody's gonna expect that crap. Joe doing
Right.
all that. I said, I went like this. I ain't following you guys. I'm sorry. I told them. I said, I'm coming on recruiting trip to watch Michael Jordan play against Syracuse basketball. But after that, I ain't coming up there.
Right. Okay, I got you.
All right, guys, we're coming back from break here in a moment. All right, guys, we're back on radio in 5, 4, 3, 2.
This is the M Zone.
And welcome back to the M Zone. Jamie Morris, Matt the Hitman Missler, best guy in the Bizzler. And you got the center of attention, Big Sweet himself, Larry Lee.
Hey.
So the NFL, the ESPN has been doing this top 10 group. Today's group is the wide receivers. I want to see if we agree, we disagree. Or are they missing somebody? Should somebody be in there? I'm just going to start the list. No, Miz, you want to tell the list off?
Yeah, I mean, I got the list. If you're watching on stream, we got like the honorable mentions and receiving votes. So ones that were receiving votes from execs and owners and scouts and everyone in between. Devontae Smith from the Eagles, rookie last year for a team that we will see on the 31st down in Canton, Ohio. Ladd McConkey for the Chargers. Former Ohio State and Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba, a guy that we'll see a lot of and hopefully have a breakout season, wearing the number 1, Jamison Williams. DJ Moore from Chicago, Chris Godwin from the Bucks, George Pickens now with the Dallas Cowboys, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley with the Titans this year. Jalen Waddle with the Miami Dolphins. If you were watching on stream during our commercial break, you heard the fight song from Big Sweet himself. And also receiving some nod, Cortland Sutton from the Denver Broncos. Some other ones getting honorable mentions, Devonta Adams last year with the Jets, now with the LA Rams. T. Higgins with the Bengals, who got himself a big old contract. Another guy with a new location, DK Metcalf. He now will be with Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Brian Thomas Jr. from the Jacksonville Duval Jaguars, along with Puka Nacua of the Rams and Scary Terry McLaurin, who is currently going through a bit of a contract dispute right now with the Commanders, J-Mo.
Well, just because he's turning 30, Miz, and they know what Scary Terry can do. They just trying to get him on the cheap, but they know they're gonna have to raise the price. And I mean, look, that's what that young quarterback is gonna need is Scary Terry, because Terry was ripping them apart last year.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll let you weigh in on those honorable mentions, Big Sweet, before we reveal what the higher ups think the top 10 wideouts.
But you know what though, man? I'm putting my executive hat on again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the overall, my concern, not concern, or my theory or question is these receivers now are getting crazy money, right? Now, how do they help or help their team in what division? And then sometimes it seems as if when receivers get their bag, they're not the same guy. So when it comes to those honorable mentions, you know, if you're a GM or I'm a GM right now, do you pay your receiver, or do you find a young phenom, you know, kind of similar with the similar traits and get away with not paying them? Because you know most receivers have the label of being a diva, right?
That's true.
So, you know, I kind of want to change your question up a little bit and say, you know, which one of those guys deserve what they got, and if they deserve what they got, and will they be the same?
I look at it this way: they are divas, and they want the ball. They want the ball coming at them, whether they're double covered or they got 4 or 5 guys around them. They don't care. Those are the guys I want to throw the ball to because they're gonna go get it. And Jamar Chase is the number one. They got that right. They got that right. Chase right. That is the guy that go get the ball. And I'm gonna say this. You can't have a 1A and a 1B, so you have a number 2. I mean, Justin Jefferson is another guy. If you think about it, Justin Jefferson is the Minnesota offense, really. He's correct. Everybody else is a diversion of what he is, because what the first thing the defenses are going to stop is Justin Jefferson. They're going to set their defense up to stop Justin Jefferson. They ain't trying to stop the running game. They ain't trying to stop anybody else. They trying to stop Justin Jefferson. That's who they're trying to stop. I mean, look, for me, I think they got that right. Tyreek Hill, I mean, he's about Tyreek, and we all know that. He's all about Tyreek. Now he's talking, I ain't never ever been outside the playoffs. So now I want to get traded because I ain't never been to the playoffs. That's a diva itself. Here's a guy who wants to catch enough balls to get 2,000 yards last year. Remember that? That was right. That's a diva. He's a diva. CeeDee Lamb was all with Dallas had. That's all wide receiver. Now they got George Pickens, and that may change. And CeeDee Lamb said the right thing. We gonna share that ball. He invited George Pickens in, saying he knew he needed help. He can't do it all. You can't just throw the ball at him. I mean, You tell me A.J. Brown ain't a diva? He want the ball every chance he get. He wait a minute. He pouts all the time. But that's because he ain't getting the ball. He don't get hit. If he don't get his throws, he got to get his throws. And if he don't get his throws, there's a problem. And he's got the perfect quarterback because they put up with it. He puts up with it. The quarterback, there's a lot of quarterbacks that don't put up with that crap. You know that.
Right. And then, go ahead.
The Detroit Lion, Amon-Ra St. Brown, come on. Amon-Ra, you don't see that he's a diva, but he's really a diva because he can tell you, the one guy, he can tell you all the guys that got drafted in front of him.
Right.
And he holds that grudge the whole time. He can tell you all the guys that were drafted in front of him.
Now, is that being a diva or a competitor?
I think it's more just holding a grudge and competitor that he's using it as fuel to his game. I mean,
that's the way I kind of think of it too. Versus a diva if I don't get the ball, I'm on the sideline pouting, and I'm always open and all that kind of stuff.
I know he's a lion, and we giving him the benefit of the doubt. But if he don't get his throws, he pouts too.
I don't think so.
Too. He likes to get the ball thrown to him now. He likes his throws. Now his quota may not be as high as the other ones I just named ahead of him.
Right.
But I'm just saying he got a quota.
But I'm looking at this, through, as Switzerland, as I tried to be, Jamie, and just over the past few years, Amon-Ra, comes off as being a humble player of the game. Does every player, every offensive player, every offensive weapon, for that matter, want to get the ball in their hands and make big plays? Absolutely. It doesn't matter if you're running back, tight end, wide receiver, hybrid player, or whatever it may be. You want the light to shine bright on you. But at the same time, though, Amon-Ra, he, that was his list. His list of guys that were drafted ahead of him. He wanted to make sure, like, I want to prove to the other 31 teams that they messed up. That they messed up, and they should have picked me up. The Lions, they took a bet on me, and that bet is paying off in dividends. So I see where you're coming from, but I don't think he's got any kind of like diva-ish grudge, to be perfectly honest. But again,
I'm with you on this one, Miz. I don't know if he's the diva per se as much as.
Did he not get his diva money? Did he not get his money? Now
he did, but
the Lions gave him his money. Now, if he had to fight for it, they didn't want to fight with him. They didn't fight with him. They gave him his money and they played him early, which was a smart move on their part.
Yes.
On their part. But I'm saying to you, Brad Holmes did the right thing. A lot of if you look at the guys I said in front of him, they had to say, you don't give me my money, I ain't coming. I'm not playing for you. They had to fight for their money. That's right. What I'm saying. That's a different organization, what Brad Holmes did. I'm saying to you, all these guys had to fight for their money. They almost had to say, I ain't gonna play.
Right.
Hell,
right.
Jamar Chase, remember with Jamar Chase, he was quote unquote sitting out while he was in camp last year. Remember? He was sitting out and in camp just to prove I'm a team guy, but I ain't doing anything until I get paid.
Right. And that's the business side of it. That but out of all the positions, I believe that the receivers sometimes, man, they can get a little too diva-ish for me. And I understand getting your bag and the whole thing. We had the same kind of conversation with the quarterback.
Yeah.
I understand getting your bag and all that, but man, I would love to have a receiver that understood, the whole scenario and wanted, would get his fair share of balls as he deserved, but was willing to spread the love. Like in Philly, if you're Brown, you got to realize that you're not going to get as many balls because they got a hell of a running back.
And that's what he had to come to realization with, though. He had to he couldn't rationalize it in the beginning. You saw him go crazy. He was walking off the field. He was mad. He wouldn't talk to Jalen. He wouldn't do anything. He was angry in real form. But then someone had a nice talk with him and had to tell him, dude, this ain't your this team, you got to show that we're a team. You can't be doing this.
Right. And so the end result proved what they were saying. Because you got a running back that can take the load off of us, not just you, take the load off of us, let's utilize it and win us a championship. Right. And they did. So I sometimes, man, and I don't want to sound like an old fogey or turncoat management guy, but sometimes I wish these guys thought more team. At some point, how much money do you have to have?
All of it.
I mean, Wu-Tang said it best. Cash rules everything around me. Cream
exactly.
gets money.
I mean, look, I mean, at number 7, Malik.
Okay. You mean reveal the top 10, Jamie?
Yeah, give it to us.
Okay, let's get the top 10 here, and I figure let's get a little ambiance to go behind it. Number 10, He just got paid earlier this week. It'd be Garrett Wilson of the New York Jets. At number 9.
Not a diva. Garrett
Mike-
Wilson, not a diva.
We'll see. Time will tell. At number 9, a guy that I don't think is a diva, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans.
Not a diva, but a worker. He's a worker.
He's a grinder, no doubt about it. Number 8, former Wolverine, Houston Texans top receiver, Nico Collins.
Maybe we should have thrown the ball a little bit more. Just saying, at Michigan, maybe we should have.
There's a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas. At number 7, I'm kind of surprised I got him this high because I don't know who.
Like I said, rookies should not even be in the top 10 because you don't even know. I mean, he could have a new quarterback now. He does have a new quarterback. No matter what.
No matter what. It's just a matter of which guy is it going to be. Number 7, Malik Neighbors of the New York Football Giants. At number 6, keep it local, Detroit's own Amon-Ra St. Brown, a.k.a. Sun God.
Nobody. Hey, I think he should be a little higher if it was me.
Honestly, I agree, but we'll see how the top 5.
I agree.
At number 5, get his book, apparently. He likes to read on the sideline. A.J. Brown of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Now, Jamie,
Yep.
when you mention divas that want the ball, number 5 is that guy.
Yes, number 5 is that guy.
But in his defense, he did tone it down a little bit. That's maybe why he got
did.
that book
He got
on
his
the
head
sideline.
together. He got his head together. You're right.
That's true.
You're right.
That is true. And I mean, I got a lot of respect for A.J. Brown as well. Number 4, Dallas Cowboys, C.D. Lamb.
He carried the load.
I think he's he's down a spot and he shouldn't be.
Okay. Top 3 at number 3, Tyreek Hill, Cheetah from the Miami Dolphins at number 3.
Too high, maybe 3 spots too high.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm there. After the season he had last year, he's not that high. I don't know about 3 spots lower, but he's not that high.
He's a I me my guy.
Now, the top 2, I'm pretty sure we can figure out who the top 2 are. It's either going to be between Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, a couple of LSU boys.
Which for me, whichever one you choose. Choose your guy.
I agree. I am a Chase fan, man. That dude, I like his game. I like Jefferson too, but I think there's something to Chase, man. He wanted the ball. He was diva-ish, and he realizes how much he is to the Cincinnati Bengals offense. So I can't fault him for wanting to get paid because he's carried a load for a while, So no, I like Chase. I like Jefferson as well. But I think they got it right. Chase is definitely number 1.
At number 2 is Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. And number 1, a guy that got himself a big contract in the offseason, Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. Houday at the top of the mountain.
I hope he read that contract because Cincinnati's all about saying if you did this, if you did that, you lose your contract.
Yeah. Well, Mike Brown is a horse of a different color in the NFL. I think we explained this on one of our shows before.
Yep.
Mike Brown's one of the few owners that the team is his business.
Yes, I get it.
And he doesn't have a Walmart behind him or any conglomerate behind him. The Bengals are his business. So, that's why he's probably a little more closer to the vest and a little bit more frugal than some of the other owners.
Now, Jamie, I know earlier in the week they did running backs, and you were kind of curious about that one. Did you want to quickly go over how the running backs kind of broke down?
Sure, man. Love that.
Yeah. We got a little bit of time to do that. So let me just do one of these things right here. So we'll go over some of the honorable mentions that they have on this list. Again, this was done by executives, coaches, and scouts compiled together by Jeremy Fowler of the Four Letter Network. Some of the receiving votes and honorable mentions: Kyron Williams of the Rams, David Montgomery, surprisingly, Knuckles of the Lions, Brian Robinson Jr. of the Commanders, Chuba Hubbard of the Panthers, DeAndre Swift, former Lion, now Chicago Bear, and former Michigan State Spartan, now superstar with the Seattle Seahawks, Kenneth Walker III. Also on the list, James Conner for the Cardinals, Breece Hall of the Jets, Devon Achane from the Dolphins, Aaron Jones of the Vikings, and Bucky Irving, kind of a shocker, actually, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the top 10 consists of this one, gentlemen. At number 10, Alvin Kamara of my New Orleans Saints. Honestly, kind of shocked that he cracked the top 10. I think that there are some guys in the honorable mention that probably could crack the 10 for him.
Finally played, though. You know, he's been out for a while. He played this year. Came back this year and played.
I'm listening. I want to hear more.
Yep. At number 9, Joe Mixon found a new home from the Bengals, now with the Houston Texans, and definitely a much-deserved good home down there in the heart of Texas.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, good for Joe Mixon. I mean,
yeah, I ended up getting to know Joe pretty well. He's a great guy. You know, he had his issues coming out of college or whatever, but I'm really, really proud of what he's done, and I agree with that. I think he should be higher.
Right.
We'll see how the rest of the list goes. At number 8, James Cook looking for a new contract with the Buffalo Bills.
And here's the problem. That's the best running back they got. And they trying to rotate in backs in this. No, you go with the hot back. James Cook was the hot back in that playoff game that they played. And that's why I'm just going to say this. That's why Kansas City did what they did.
Coming in at number 7, Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, he got paid and he's happy. And when you're happy, you ball out. He didn't lie. He didn't lie. He was the focus of that team.
Yeah.
24 games of over 100 yards or more since 2020. Only trails one other guy that'll be on this list, and it's not going to be a surprise who that is at the top of the list. At number 6, Josh Jacobs of the Green Bay Packers. This guy, honestly, I think getting out of Vegas and Oakland to head over to Green Bay when they need a running back badly.
Best move ever, I'll say. Best move for Josh Jacobs. That was the best move ever because they know what to do with a running back in Green Bay. Obviously, the Raiders didn't know what they were doing. They got rid of Josh Jacobs.
Well, they're getting themselves a young buck from Boise State. So we'll see how they do with our guy from the formerly the Broncos.
Yeah.
At number 5, a guy that's been dealing with the injury bug all last season, and it will start off with that injury bug. Christian McCaffrey of the 49ers.
Again, why is he on the list? He should be honorable mention. Did not play last year, so I don't get. Again, enough said.
Enough said.
Yep.
I agree.
At number 4, a guy that a lot of people thought the Lions should have picked up, Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm gonna stay with Jamar Gibbs is still the good pick. But this young man, he's still finding himself. That's all I'm gonna say. He's still finding himself, and when he does, he'll be at the top of this list.
Coming in at number. Oh, go ahead, Big Sweet.
I was just going to say I'm with you on that one, Jamie.
Coming at number 3, the guy the Lions did pick up, Sonic, a.k.a. Jahmyr Gibbs of the Detroit Lions.
2 years from now, he'll be number 1.
I can get down with that, actually. I really can.
The kid has shown that he could. The kid has shown every time he gets an opportunity to showcase himself, he's done it. And and the more and more they give him an opportunity, he will be the number 1 running back in the NFL.
Coming in
that's a strong statement.
I'm telling you, he's shown it. He can catch, he can block, and he can run that rock.
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely up there, but you know, I got someone else in mind that is probably already up there.
At
That
number,
I know is up there.
At number 2, King Henry, Derrick Henry.
Yes. Yes.
What did I say to you, Miz? Dallas Cowboys should take. Remember that last year I said Dallas, if the Titans waive or let him go, Dallas needs to do it real quick. If he goes, and I said this, if he goes to the Ravens, watch Lamar flourish. And that happened.
Yep. You know, Jerry Jones is not quick to jump on deals, and he'd rather wait, you know, to the end and then pay a premium.
I get it.
And at number 1 from this past season, the top running back, according to executives, coaches, and scouts, Saquon Barkley of the Philadelphia Eagles. Not a shock in the least bit.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm just going to tell you, as a running back, they got film on you, Saquon. Now, everybody, the word has gone out. Shut down the running game. Shut it down. And you can say all you want about them big boys up front, but you can't get them all. You can't block them all.
You can't jump back. You can't jump backwards over them guys all the damn time.
That's a topic we got to discuss, because one day, we don't have to do it today. That drives me batty, how a running back can jump over a defender coming to try to tackle him. That should never happen in a million years, nowhere, no how. Front, backwards, sideways. That means that the DB is coming up with his eyes closed, and he ain't trying to hit nobody. And he
want to get hit. DBs don't hit nobody in the league. We got a couple guys that scare you, that can go through you now. We got a couple DBs that'll go through.
But Jamie, to come up and have a guy just jump over you tells me you're coming up with your eyes closed.
Yeah, agreed.
You're not trying to make a tackle,
Dude,
and that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing as a defensive back. How do you watch the film on Monday with your team?
You're watching. Hey, the coach is going to run it back late 18 times too. This guy right here doesn't want to play football. This guy here is not. He has no gonads. He can't do anything.
That ticks me off. I'm telling you, if I'm a coach and a guy, I don't care who you are, you come up like that and you get beat like that, or you're out. I don't care. I got to set a precedent.
Oh, I guarantee you the kid didn't play he didn't play the next week. He was on injured reserve. They said he was injured. He wasn't injured. He was in embarrassment, and he didn't play.
And to get jumped over backwards, come on, man. That's that play. I watched that play 30 times, and man, every time I was fuming. I was like,
I was proud as a papa. I was proud as a papa. That was just awesome.
Yeah. And, but they got it right. Back to the topic. They got it right with Saquon, man.
No. They got it right with Saquon. That's why I'm saying Saquon, next year, he'll be at number 3 or number 4. And it's not because he's not trying. It's because the effort to stopping Saquon will be high. There'll be all men on deck to stop Saquon. I'm just telling you. Everybody was Jalen Hurts is going to have to be the thrower. He's going to have to be more of a thrower this season than last season, because they're going to try to stop the run.
All you need to know is this. One thing and one thing only. You messed up when you pop on the old social media on a Monday or Tuesday and you see this guy on your screen right here, and you're just like, look at this right here. If you're watching stream and unaware of who this guy is, they call him Coach 30, and all he does is he just breaks down everything of how you got clowned on defense or on offense. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. How the hell are you gonna let a man jump over backwards like that? Jump over you backwards. How you gonna let this happen to you right now?
I know. I agree with. Man, that's so embarrassing, man. Now, Saquon, I got my scout and my executive hat on. That dude's a beast, and it's just like your boy in Baltimore. You don't think teams put 7 in the box to stop him. You don't think teams are now hip to him, but they can't stop him anyway?
All I'm going to say is they thought, let me say, I'm going to start with Derek. They all thought he lost a step or two. They all did. They all did. Everybody thought he lost a step. Okay? Saquon, the Giants made him look bad, said he, injured his leg. He's injury prone. That's what they called him. Injury prone.
Yeah.
They didn't want to pay him, so they made it sound like he was injury prone. So everybody said
that was damage control.
You can talk to him. He was damaged goods.
That was damage control by the Giants.
All I'm saying to you is when they got rid of him, everybody thought Saquon wasn't a good player because he was injury prone. He was going to get injured eventually. All season long, they were waiting for him to just fall on that ankle or his knee or whatever hurts. And he didn't. It didn't happen. You're right, Larry.
Right. So my point is, now that Saquon is on the top of the hill, you don't think he can repeat that?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't happen.
I disagree with you on that one.
And you can. But for me, when you're in the NFL and you're the leading rusher, you ain't the leading rusher the next year. That's been a long time. That's been a long time.
I just gave you an example of a pretty good example, and that's your boy in Baltimore. He was the king of the running backs, and they know all about him. Every team tried to stop him and know all about him, and they
thought he lost a step or two. You know that as well as I do. When he got taken out of the Titans, when he left the Titans, everybody thought he was done. He wasn't the leading rusher. He got hurt. He got hurt half that season. He came back and finished out the season, but he was injury prone too then. Everybody, he got a bad knee. He got a bad knee. But they forgot how he worked out, how he treated his body, how he LeBron himself. He LeBron himself. I'm just telling you.
But the other intangible about Saquon, and you said it earlier, that line of his, that line didn't go nowhere.
I know this, but
They're
telling
still
you.
around. They're still tush pushing, and one of the most big athletic lines I ever seen in my life.
I get it, and he may have a good season, but he ain't having that super season he had last year. He ain't gonna have that kind of year. It ain't gonna happen. Not this season. He has marked. You know it, and I know it. In the NFL, they know what number to get him. They know the number.
I'm not ready to say that, man. I'm not ready.
Now,
I'm not ready.
Let me say this: you still have a decision to make when you play Baltimore. Who you gonna stop? Because if you let one go, the other one gonna go. If you stop one, you can't stop the other.
That's not the case with Philly. That's not the case with Philly.
We'll see.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna see. I'm just saying.
Okay. To be continued.
That's why Philly, wait a minute. I'm saying this. That's why Philly won the Super Bowl too. That's one of the reasons why Philly won the Super Bowl. And Jalen Hurts had a great game because their job was to stop who? Who did they have to stop? They stopped Saquon. Saquon didn't have that game that he wanted. He wasn't running through people like he did all season long in the playoffs too. I mean, where I saw Saquon, he could have ran for a touchdown and he just went down to the ground and let the clock run out, right? He did he made everybody who had him as a fantasy choice, they were mad.
Right. I think there will be a repeat among Saquon and that offensive line this year. He will be the number one running back again at the end of the season.
Okay.
To be continued, my brother.
Put that in pen, or you want to put that in pencil so you can erase it out?
To be continued, my brother.
Okay. We got to go to a break. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050.
Clear on the radio.
I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
I'll just send us to be right back screen. So we'll
Okay.
come back on stream here in a bit, guys.
I did get your big. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
He said let him back in, but I told him to click on the link again.
Yeah, it's the same link.
Right. Click on that same link that I sent you. I'll send it to you again.
There he is.
You got it? Okay. You good?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Perfect timing because we coming back from break.
All righty.
It's coming down in buckets right now.
Is it?
It's not where I
You
am.
wouldn't know, Jamie. You're in your big ass basement.
No, it's not. No, they're outside flattening the road. They put all the sand down. They get ready to go blacktop tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's coming down pretty heavy outside the studio.
I still hear that flat roller right now. So they got him moving, flattening the surface.
I got you. All righty.
Um,
Back on the radio in 5, 4, 3, 2.
This is the M Zone.
And welcome back to the M Zone. Jamie Morris, Matt the Hitman Missler, best guy in the Bizzler, and you got the center of attention, Big Sweet himself, Larry Lee.
Hey.
So, you guys, what do we got to do? I was looking at this. I even tried to look that up. You know what? It hasn't been a return in a while for running back. It's the same guy. I'm just saying, in a while, for the same guy to be the leading rusher after the season. But I don't know what that means. I mean, I guess, and you know what? I could be wrong. But again, now they got the target on their back, Big Sweet. That's all I'm saying. The
Right.
target is being Super Bowl champ. You know what that means. Now we gonna get your butt. Now we gonna get y'all now.
Right. But there have been what we call repeat champions.
There are, yes, there are.
So with that being said,
You seen that schedule they have, right?
I see the schedule. I think the schedule, but that talent that they have on that team, and that team presently the way it is one of the favorites to go back to back.
Yeah, I agreed. And you know what? The NFC is not that. I mean, look, so the Lions are favored too.
Right. And and you got some young and upcomers in that league. I mean, in that conference. Jaden Daniels, as we mentioned the other day, very good, awesome, love him. But he's done it 1 year.
Right. And now they got film on him. They've been watching him. They're gonna look at tendencies on that young man. They're gonna hey, I'm sure they're using AI, okay, like everybody else.
I'm laughing, but you know what? I bet there is something to the teams using AI.
Yeah, you know that. They're going to ask AI the same thing that you would ask, that I would ask.
Right.
What's the tendencies? What does he do on every play that can give it to us? And AI is going to develop some criteria, and they're going to get after that.
And Jaden Daniels likes going to his right, and he uses his, I never thought of that, Jamie, but you know what? That's I hate, maybe I'm acting like an old fart, but that's
exactly. Well, you know it as well as I do. Everything counts now, and they're going to use everything they can.
Yeah.
Because that young man embarrassed them. He embarrassed everybody he played.
Yeah. So young phenoms in the NFC, though, you got, Love up there in Green Bay,
right.
You got Caleb in Chicago.
You got JJ in Minnesota.
Yeah. Oh, you just had to get that in there, didn't you?
Well, I didn't have to, but
JJ ain't done nothing yet.
JJ, wait a minute. I don't know if I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this out there. I don't think he was injured as bad as he was. A meniscus, really? Come on.
So they needed
to hold him out a season to let him get. They wanted him to have because at the rate he was playing, he was out playing Donaldson already.
Okay, now since we've gone there, and I know both of your affinities to a guy that wore maize and blue. Is JJ going to register this upcoming year?
JJ will be one of the bright newcomers of the NFL. He can't be rookie of the year, but he will be. He could be comeback player of the year.
Comeback.
because he didn't get to play last year, but he participated.
Okay. Okay. To be continued. That's the phrase. That's my phrase of the day.
You will hear it in week 8. You will hear it in week 8. Everybody will be going crazy over JJ in week 8.
To be continued. That's my phrase of the day.
Oh my God!
Don't y'all just love an objective point of view sometimes?
Love it all the time.
All right.
So
be
we got to
continued.
talk about this real quick. We got to talk about this. I want to tell you both. I stayed up as long as I could last night watching that game.
Oh, the
I
All-Star.
remember the game was, and I'm talking about the All-Star game. You know, Miz, usually I trash All-Star games. You know I hate All-Star games now. Okay?
I know. I think you and I are on the same boat. I think the only one of recency that has changed everything around was when the NHL did the Four Nations tournament.
I love that. Love that. I love what hockey has done. But I'm going to say this. Baseball, you finally got it right. You went back to the original. Guys wore their team jersey. They wore their team's outfit. They didn't have some crazy outfit for the American team and for the national team. You wore your outfit, okay? And that was great. They wore the hat that showed that it was an all-star game and it had your team's logo on the sides of the hat. That was good. Then, instead of going extra innings, I love the swing. I love the home
swing
run,
off.
the swing off. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. It was the best thing. And anybody who complains, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Your kids could go to bed. You could go to bed. You extra. You don't need extra baseball. Baseball's long enough as is. But all I'm saying is the swing off. That was awesome. You knew who the MVP was going to be too. It was going to be one of those guys that hit the home run.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
I have no dispute or debate. I agree.
I think the only gripe, if anything, I would have was the manager's choices of who was taking those swings.
Yeah,
I think that would be my only gripe, and it's more of I think a lot when you've got the big sluggers on each team, you would think that you'd go with them. Now I don't know if the rules in play of the 3 guys that are active at that time, or if it's something else. I'm not entirely sure if that's part of the rules or whatnot, but can you imagine having an Aaron Judge against a Shohei Ohtani face off in one round, and the next round you get
awesome too. I think that would have been awesome too, but they weren't playing at that time.
Exactly. So that's why I'm wondering if that's what
got to be the person on the field, right? Those guys that were on the field at the present time.
That's what I'm guessing is what that rule had to have been. But I mean, this was the first time that we got to the end of the of regulation gameplay tied at with a tie score, and instead of doing extra innings, they went with this 3-on-3 swing off, and I thought it was great. I thought it kept people around for the end of it, and even hell, I mean, even the 9th inning, where the American League was down by 2, and they find a way to claw back and tie the game up at 6. And the other thing that I think was good too, and I want the people in the back that have been shaking their fists at the automatic ball strike sensors that they were putting in.
Right.
Yeah, they're able to figure out in about 7 to 10 seconds if a pitch was a ball or a strike, and they put it on the big screen for you to see it yourself.
Right.
So to get that implemented after they gave it a trial run during the preseason, during the spring training preseason time, it's time to pull the trigger and get it implemented in the regular season starting next year.
And you got to look. I still have the umpire and everything like that, but you question the umpire. You know what I'm saying? You just say that, and you got to give the manager, hey, I this one I think was a strike. You got to give him those abilities.
Yeah.
So, what are we going to do to enhance, get rid of the NFL, Pro Bowl, or the NBA All-Star game?
Well, that NBA All-Star, they should play the world, just like hockey did. They should play the world.
Because at one point, I mean, at one point in the NHL, you had North America versus the world, and this was like back in the late '90s, early 2000s, I think, when they implemented that. I mean, you could do that with the NBA, where you can get do 3-on-3 style where Canada's got its own thing, America has got their own. Then you can maybe go to European and Asian, because there seems to be a lot of that with it when it comes to the basketball side.
Now, if I'm correct, didn't they attempt something like that this past NBA All-Star game where they had the Europeans against Shaq's team, or remember, wasn't it a European team kind of versus wasn't Shaq teams like the OGs or something this year, but they had a European team, I thought.
I don't think they did that this year. I think they did
years ago.
Maybe a few years ago. I know they did 3-on-3 this year. That I believe they did this year. I think what they tried to do was almost like a 4-team like round robin kind of thing where all 4 teams, they played the other 3 opponents, and the top 2 teams with the best record played for the championship, and they played that's how they kind of fitted it out this year, which it's good to change, but that didn't really it didn't grab the attention,
Well, the problem was that you had your number 1 player, the icon of the players. He showed up and didn't play.
Right.
He decided that he wasn't going. He didn't let anybody know. He just showed up and said, "I'm just going to sit on the bench." It didn't wear a uniform, didn't do anything, just sat there and let it go.
And as far as the NFL goes, as long as they continue to increase the season and increase these salaries, I think you just do away with the Pro Bowl.
Well, yeah, you get rid of the Pro Bowl, but what I do like is that they invite people down to Disney World, and these players interact with the fans. I love the interaction with the fans. If you want to have look, they're pushing this flag football. They want the players to do flag football with the Olympics, right? So you might as well continue doing the flag football game, because that's what we're trying to encourage people to do, right? So you keep doing it. When the Olympics is over, you just fade it out. And
I mean, my thought with the NFL, maybe you can do something similar to what the NBA and the NHL were trying to do, where maybe you do a flag football thing, but you do this after the season is done. You do it after the Super Bowl, maybe a week, not the week afterwards, because that's usually like the Super Bowl championship parades and everything like that. But maybe the week after that, what you do is you get the NFC North All-Stars versus the AFC North All-Stars, and they just, you kind of get the divisions head-to-head thing, and the 2 divisions with the best record play for the Pro Bowl All-Star Championship. But you've got to find a way to incentivize it. That's really the big thing, is that if I'm Jared Goff, or Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Aaron Rodgers, or insert Pro Bowler here, I've got to be there. That's kind of what it is at the end of the day, is that there's got to be some kind of incentivization. You got to have some kind of incentives for me to go out there and play essentially almost a meaningless weekend of sports stuff. But I think you can kind of do something to incentivize it, where like, hey, the top 2 teams, the runner up will win X amount of bucks. And the first place team will win a larger set of money. But the MVP of the Pro Bowl All-Star Weekend, they get an extra bonus or something like that. I mean, again, at the end of the day, it comes to incentivization of getting these players to do this stuff.
All
I'm kind of thinking out loud, but what if you just took, the AFC All-Stars and the NFC Pro Bowlers, and just make it a fan weekend, like you say, Jamie? Maybe, a period where they have to do so many autograph sessions, or how many interactions with fans, or panel discussions, or just something on those lines. Because anything athletic makes it hard with the monies that these guys are starting to make, and the possibilities, and they don't want to be there now. You're talking about an 18-game season and all that, man. That's the last thing they'll want to do, is to participate in something physical.
Let it be the kickstart to Super Bowl week. Let it be that week between the conference championships and the Super Bowl, where the Pro Bowl, is more of a fan meet and greet kind of thing, because that's what everyone loves. I mean, the Lions released the tickets for the open practices over in Allen Park, and they were sold out in an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe little Johnny, Johnny's family can't afford to, go to Allen Park or wherever it may be for the spring stuff, or for the summer camp stuff. But let's have it where you have the experience, the location of every Super Bowl, and make it either A, affordable, or B, free. Honestly, I think the latter option is better for the fan base, where they can come by, especially for the kids. The kids will eat that up like it's chicken nuggets and French fries with coated in whatever the hell sauce they like to have, because that's what the kids would want. They look up to these guys, these young men and adults that play football.
Right.
They look up to them as being superheroes. So this is an ideal situation. Find a way where you make it free for the kids, and for adults, hey, listen, you may have to shell out a couple bucks. You want something special autograph, because we know in about 30 minutes, once you get it signed, you're going to send that thing over to eBay to try to get that thing sold so you can make some more money off of it.
Right.
I'm sorry, did I say this quiet part out loud again? Damn.
That's the other thing that has polluted the divinity of sports, man. Post sales and secular sales, or not secular, but secondary sales and all that kind of stuff. It's just nothing's pure anymore, man. Nothing.
No, it's not. Look, we kind of let things go, and it's a shame. But these all-star games, and that's why I said it was well played last night. They gave you what you wanted, and they made it short and sweet. They didn't make you watch another inning. They said, "Hey, we're gonna have a swing off,"
right?
Which I'm sure everybody. I was going, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah. Short and sweet.
It was short and sweet, and I went, all right, I'm going to bed. Good to go.
Good to go.
We need to go to a break as we're saying good to go. On the other side, we'll come right back. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050.
Clear on radio.
Oh, they announced the death of John Elway's former agent, a tragic accident. So nobody's at blame.
Who was John's agent? I can't remember.
Hold on, it's got it right here.
It wasn't. What's the name's dad? Los Angeles Rams dad. Rams president dad.
No. Jeez, I can't. Oh, Jeff Spick. No, wait, hold on. I can't make it.
And one time he had Marv Demoff.
Yes. Demoff lived through that.
Agent Jeff Spurback.
Spurback.
In a statement after
Jeff
Spurback's
Spurback.
death, there are
Oh,
no
I didn't know him.
profound.
You know, I knew Marv real well because Marv is a UCLA guy, and he used to go on our trips with us. You know, he used to fly on our plane with us sometimes, and when I got in the league in the front office, you know, Marv was still representing quite a few times. He had a couple of our players, and
Everybody loved Marv, man. Marv was the man.
Yeah, and I had I negotiated a couple of contracts, and he gave me a couple of free agent nuggets back in the day because you know we're all Bruins and Marv, and now Kevin's doing his thing with the Rams. I remember when Kevin was a kid coming to our practices. Now he running the Rams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
How, exactly, is this possible? It's not for a lack of prolific production, that's for sure. Among qualifying passers, only Patrick Mahomes has a better quarterback rating since 2018, the year Jackson arrived as a first-round draft pick. Only Mahomes and fellow NFL MVP Josh Allen have more combined wins during that span. And when it comes to running the ball, no one comes close. Jackson's 6,173 career yards on the ground are far and away the best mark of any quarterback since he took the NFL stage. So what is the issue then? How could anyone slot Jackson as a non-top 5 quarterback entering 2025? It's actually fairly simple. Playoffs.
They didn't qualify. They thought Jackson. So the question is why did so many NFL execs vote Lamar Jackson outside of the top 5 quarterbacks? It comes down to one glaring issue: playoffs.
Playoffs. A great Jim. Playoffs.
All I'm gonna say is he gets you to the playoffs every year. So I don't know what you're talking about.
That's you know that might be the thing to have to decipher nowadays is when you do AI and different things. How trustworthy is it? You know, because you take the human element away.
Right. I mean, I'm sorry, and I'll say this, Big Sweet. They don't give Dan Marino's not mentioned because he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Right.
They don't mention his name anywhere anymore.
No.
I mean, he's one of the most prolific quarterbacks in yardage and touchdowns and everything except for they don't mention him. He's a Hall of Famer, and they don't mention his name.
Amen. And boy, I had the pleasure of being in the huddle with him, you know, and saw it firsthand. That man was the most accurate passer I ever seen in my life. You could go away 50 yards and tell him, hit the S on that stop sign. And he'd throw it right there. Bam, hit it.
Right. But, I mean, there's no respect for him because.
Yep. I hear you.
I mean.
All right, guys, we're coming back from break. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
This is the M Zone.
And welcome back to the M Zone. Jamie Morris, Matt the Hitman Missler, best guy in the Bizzler. And you got the center of attention for the M Zone. That would be the big sweet Larry Lee.
All right.
Wow, gentlemen, it is we talked about the the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. We talked about, the wide receivers, the prima donnas of professional football. You can argue with me and tell me no, but hey, if they ain't getting the ball, they're gonna ask you why. They're gonna tell you, I'm open all the time on every play. That's just the way they do it. The argument is, I thought about this, and Larry, look, I'm gonna say this: Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Is there any other Joe Burrows? Until they get to the Super Bowl, until they win a Super Bowl, I'm going to say, and I hate to say this, they're going to get Dan Marino'd. And what I mean by that is you're going to be known as a great quarterback who couldn't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. We have experienced that through Dan. And, at the time, Dan was chunking up yards, passing yards ridiculously, breaking records and attempts and all that kind of stuff. But you're right, because he has not won a Super Bowl, did not win a Super Bowl. He's not mentioned, as often as he should be mentioned. And I'm totally biased because I was in the huddle with him. I saw it firsthand. The leader he was, I saw a lot of those passes firsthand that he did to Duper and Clayton and Nat Moore, my time, and those guys. So I am a big Dan Marino fan. I wish he had won a Super Bowl to solidify him in that conversation. But I agree. As often as we can, we should bring up Dan Marino's name.
No, you're right. And it's a shame that we don't. But, there are other quarterbacks that feel that. There's quarterbacks out there that have done great things, but they don't win Super Bowls. If you don't win the Super nowadays as a quarterback, and to be a Hall of Famer, as a quarterback, if you don't win a Super Bowl, you're either going to struggle. You better have thrown for a lot of touchdowns and a lot of yards, because if you didn't, you really, 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 it's going to be tough for you to get into the Hall of Fame.
So who could we throw out there right now that are modern day Dan Marino so far?
Right. Right now, right now you can throw Lamar Jackson out there. Right now, you can throw out Josh Allen. Right now, you can throw Joe Burrow's name out. Right. Anybody in the AFC that's balling, you can throw him out, because you know what? Patrick Mahomes is in your era right now. So, I'm going to say this. I'll say this. And everybody dogs him out too. Jalen Hurts right now is a Hall of Famer compared to Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrows, because he's got a Super Bowl win. And he outplayed Patrick Mahomes in 2 Super Bowls, not just one. But everybody remembers that first Super Bowl, because now he beat him in the second one.
Which takes me back to that list we talked about. I believe it was yesterday, where they had him 7th or 8th or something like that. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I got text messages saying at least he made the list. That's what everybody was. At least he made the list. I'm like, really? Is that as long as he made the list?
No. That man's a winner. That man's a winner, and 1 out of 2, but he outplayed in both of them the top quarterback in the league. No, that man's a winner. Which takes me back to our aforementioned conversation about the repeat possibilities and the succession of Saquon Barkley. It's going to happen again. Run it back is the new term, right? Run it back.
I get it, but that offensive line has got to be better than what they were last year. That's what I'm saying to you. If they're not if they're not as good or not that much better, because those teams, there's a different. When you win the Super Bowl, you know this better than anything. The only reason I know it is because I came on to a Super Bowl team and everybody brought the wood. Everybody brought the wood.
Right. But I'm saying I'm using some intangibles as well. As I look at that team, as I look at that offensive line, I don't see major injury with any of them. I don't see any decline in any of them. And I think they will be poised to run it back.
I can agree with it. I can agree if they get, but see, there's always a change. There's always this, and coaches are gonna say we're playing the Super Bowl champs today, gentlemen. I gotta have that ultimate effort. Show America.
Right.
I lived it.
Right. But looking at their division, we'll start with their division.
Look at their division. Look at that division. You got the only team that's gonna. There's
Cowboys didn't improve.
Nope. Cowboys improved because they got improved in their offense.
A little bit so much.
George Pickens takes a lot of pressure off of CD Lamb now.
Yeah, so they improve a little bit so much.
They get their quarterback back.
They improve a little bit, but that defense did not improve.
No, did not. They got to get Michael Parsons tied in.
Which was the weak point. And even with Micah Parsons, they were not that good. So now on to the Giants. No. That's all I can say there. Okay, no. Now we get a little the Commanders. We get a little bit serious, and the Commanders have a young phenom. They got all the tools, and they added Deebo Samuel, and that could be a nice little rivalry this year. But I still think the Eagles will be de la creme of that NFC East. So now let's look at the conference. You got the Lions. So we don't really know what to expect from the Lions. We know they're going to be good, but we don't know how good because of the losses, of the two coordinators and various things. The Bears got a good quarterback and added some offensive firepower, but I'm not ready to anoint them. The Packers shall improve and should be improved. And then the Vikings, we don't know because we're uncertain about a certain guy at quarterback. But y'all are certain. I'm not certain.
Don't say y'all, because Miss is not feeling it. Miss may not feel it.
Y'all are certain about a guy at quarterback. I'm not certain about a guy at quarterback.
I can tell you this. I've been circling a little bit like a hawk, seeing what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing in Minneapolis right now.
Okay, all right. So with that being said, the only possible, not only, but I only see one or two people even attempting to be in the same realm with the Eagles, and that could be the Packers.
Yeah.
The Lions,
right,
and the Commanders.
Yes,
in the NFC.
And if those three teams, 4 teams you've named,
you mentioned 3. Yep.
If those teams improve, I mean a little bit from a defensive standpoint, you may have some problems. Just saying.
That's where we differ. That's where we differ. Because I don't think the progress of those 3 teams are equal to the sustainability of what the Eagles have.
You remember what you saw against the Rams. You remember what you saw against the Rams in that first game when they played in that playoff game, and it was snowing. Remember?
Yeah.
The Rams almost come back and won that game. I'm just letting you know. They almost came back and won that game.
Okay, but almost only works in what?
I get it. I know horseshoes and hand grenades. Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Right. So what I'm saying is, I know what's our man Philly
Philly E.
I know he's probably happy with me right now. I'm a firm believer that the
Philly
Eagles
E
are
is
going
a
to repeat.
Minnesota fan. Philly E is
Philly.
a Minnesota fan.
Yeah, he's a longtime Viking fan who has gone through the pain of 4 failed attempts at a Super
And I'm telling Philly E, this is the year. This is the year. The Vikings give you what you got.
Okay, well, Philly E and Jason E and Mizzy, all y'all can get on that Viking bandwagon. I'm going with the Eagles.
I made no proclamation
No,
of
he
the
hasn't.
Vikings.
I said it was me.
Yeah, no proclamation of Viking,
Okay, all right. I take that back then. I take it back.
Honestly, like in terms of any of the teams that could, give the Eagles any kind of pressure in the NFC, I agree with you. The Commanders and the Lions, I think, are probably the 2 best among the entire NFC. I'm kind of hesitant to see how the Commanders work this year, how Jaden Daniels is going to be in his sophomore season in the NFL, if his rookie year was a flash in the pan or not. I think a lot, and again, I kind of look at how CJ Stroud was in Houston. I take a look at some of the other offensive rookies of the year to see, like, does this guy have the same tenacity going into year number 2 as he did in year 1? That's going to be one of the big gauges there. I think the Lions, the one thing that gives me a little hesitation with the Lions right now is the guy that is the spot that just got readjusted recently, and that's the offensive line, the interior of the offensive line. With Frank Reich now officially marked as retired from the league, I'm kind of curious to see who's going to shift over to the center spot. Is it going to be Graham Glasgow, or is it going to be the new kid from Georgia, who still hasn't signed a contract yet, by the way? I don't know if how that's going to work out. I think everything around them right now, I think the secondary's improved significantly. I think the linebacking core, I think the defense in general is solid right now in Detroit. I do think with that, I would like it if the Lions could maybe button up another edge rusher to counter with Aiden Hudson. I know everyone wanted to get Hendrickson from Cincinnati up here. It sounds like maybe they're trying to work a contract out now. Sounds like they're trying to play friendly with each other, meaning Hendrickson and the Bengals. So at this time, if you're looking for an edge rusher, Brad Holmes, Zadarius Smith is still hanging around the Motor City. He's still got a boo thing here in Detroit. So maybe give him a little jingle up.
Hey, he may be booing it in Minneapolis too.
It's a possibility. He's a journeyman now. So who knows at this point? But the one thing that I will say, the one other team in the NFC that I would not sleep on is the team that knocked off the Minnesota Vikings last year, and that's the LA Rams. I know Stafford is getting up there in age. He may not have the same velocity on his throws, but
he got velocity. He's okay.
But I mean, he's got a lot of great weapons to throw to. He just picked up. And granted, I understand that the father time when it comes to the weapons, offensive weapon department kind of goes downhill at some point, but Devontae Adams is still one of the best wide receivers in the league. And now you've got one of the best you've got a guy that has got history of winning, has got a Super Bowl ring. You bring Devontae Adams in. I think that adds a little bit of extra oomph to that offense that they were kind of lacking a little bit in the NFC West. The one issue for them, I think, is how they can I think this is the second year of the post Aaron Donald era. Can they find a way to find their next dude in the trenches or just their next dude on defense? I think that's going to be their one. That's got to be their one thing they'll have to rework. They'll have to work on during training camp going into the regular season. But I would not be surprised of the three of the teams in the NFC that could give the Eagles a little bit of some problems: Commanders, Lions, and Rams. Those three teams. And I'm not even going to bring up the South because the South is trash.
His team's in the South. That's why.
My second word of the day is intangible. Okay, the intangible with the Lions is now their big boy ball team. That's schedule. They got that schedule. Have you looked at that schedule?
They've had to look. They've been there. They've been in the throne for three seasons now, right?
Right.
They had a tough schedule last year. It was a fighter schedule. Now it is a very, very tough schedule. Now we've all seen them because they were the should have been. They were the should have been.
Right.
Lions.
But now they're grown up. They all growed up, as we say.
Right. Exactly. So they got the schedule they're supposed to have. This is what you're in the big boy seat now.
You're right.
You ain't the Super Bowl champs, but you in the big boy seat.
You're in the big boy seat. And this is what the winners have had to face on a regular.
Right.
So now they're amongst
back games at home.
that
all season
now they're
long.
amongst that conversation.
Right.
And that's what I hope they step up to the plate and handle.
I mean,
That's intangible.
Look, the thing about the Lions, they got to stay healthy. Defensively, they got to stay healthy. Offensively, they got to stay healthy. That's the key.
I'm curious to see the two coordinators too. Morton, I'm a Johnson fan. I liked his innovation and the Panay Sewell's and motions and all the various things he did on offense. That's where your theory comes into mind for me, Jamie, is now all the other teams have seen all them plays and intangibles and all them other things, are they going to be as what can I say, successful as they were in the past? Because they kind of shocked people with them last year. But now, the man's gone. The guy that created all that stuff is gone.
You still send those motions. You play off those motions now. I mean, what you're going to see from Johnson, I mean, you should feel better with the new offensive coordinator, Morton, because he's going to play off of what Johnson did.
Hope so.
And it's going to be more of Jarrett's offense. He's going to he may say, "Hey, I got this play. I got it."
Yeah, hope so. They should be at that point now where Jarrett can do that.
Right.
And did you see that documentary the other day? That for some reason they've been showing a lot of documentary about Dan Marino. Did you see that? You'd have liked this. They showed one thing where the sideline sent in a play through the running back. The running back gets the play and calls it to Dan, gives it to Dan, and Dan said, "We're not doing that. Instead of running the choice, you run the deep." And so now the running back is sitting there going, damn, do I go with the head coach or do I go with Marino? He went with Marino, and look what it got him, a touchdown.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, Dan had that ability. Dan had that ability. The coach is going, look,
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
Honestly, I think I do want to see how Morton and Jared Goff are going to kind of gel together. Obviously, spending multiple years with under Ben Johnson's offensive tutelage, but I think the one thing that I think a lot of people forget about is the fact that his quarterback coach has not changed in the former Jaguars quarterback,
Mark Brunell.
Yeah, so with him still being on the side, I mean, it still brings in the it still brings in the fact that you still have a lot of gelling together at the quarterback position. I just want to see how Johnny Morton's offensive scheme is different compared to what Ben Johnson had the past few years.
Right. I'm
And I'm
curious.
not expecting Ben Johnson to be, get started in Chicago this upcoming season and just wheel out the first play of the day, first game of the season of play action, throw to the offensive tackle who is the
No,
sixth.
he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that.
Well, that's the other thing too. Now, the Lions are one of the more talented teams in the league. I mean, that line is probably second to only Philly. Then you got guys like Uppanay Sewell's caliber. That whole line was pretty good. They got awesome tight ends. They got nice receivers. They got the D line is probably one. Hopefully Aiden comes back doing his thing, and the DBs got much better. Over the past couple of seasons. So, the Lions are a more talented team than the Bears. So I don't expect Johnson to be as creative at the Bears as he was at the Lions.
I think that the Bears will be a better team.
They will. I agree with that.
I think they will. They'll be a better team by virtue of having Johnson at the helm, and
I agree.
the players will play better for Johnson.
But I don't think he's going to have at his disposal
the
tools that he had in Detroit.
No, but he does have a group of receivers right now that can compare to the receiving group in Detroit. I think he's got a good receiving group. Look, if he can get that quarterback to play, if he can get Caleb Williams to play, and they keep him straight up without chasing him all over the place, I mean, you can conceivably have a good season.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying they're going to be playoffs or anything like that, but I'm saying they're going to be competitive. They're going to give you games.
Right.
You'll see a big change in them.
I agree.
Well, we need to go to a break. I see Brandon Brown in the house.
There he
Always
is.
good to see Brandon Brown.
B square.
This is my short day because I have baby chores, or excuse me, I have young man chores that I got to take care of. But hey,
as a young man, you got over there, prime 5-year-old that you got to keep an eye on.
And hey, Dave Burns, for coming on. We appreciate you coming on. I gotta acknowledge you because you wanted us to know that you
watch
here
from Cedar Hills in Texas.
Cedar Hills, Texas. You got to be hot as hot, bro.
And Dave, maybe we'll answer your question from the chat, by the way, either during the break or on the other side. We got a lot. I think got a lot of pro talk to talk about, especially with, like I said, I'm not good at math. 15 days away from the Hall of Fame game, in which we're going to be broadcasting from down in Canton, Ohio, on Wednesday, July 30th and 31st. So if you're coming through, make sure you can stop by and say hi with us coming up in a couple weeks.
Exactly. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050.
Clear on radio.
All right, guys. I'll see you, Ms. You and Big Sweet on the other side tomorrow. Right. Brandon, I'll call you tomorrow. Okay. You're so funny.
Look at that guy. Hey. I did want to have that up the whole time, and then I forgot. I'm using my phone just to like AirPlay it up to the TV.
That's funny.
As soon as I logged in, I forgot. I went to swipe down and do something on my phone, and it went away. I'm like, damn it! I'm not going to be able to leave that up.
I'm coming.
That was cool.
What's up, BB?
I'll see you guys late tomorrow.
Sounds good, Jamie. See you.
Thanks.
All right.
Well, what do we got, Miz? It's going to be a lot of calls.
I don't know. I found something from the old social media network. It was either yesterday or Monday. I think it was yesterday. It was the top 25 NFL players in the last 25 years.
Oh wow.
And I wanted to see who maybe people would think is their top player of the last 25, not named Tom Brady, because well, he is the top on this list.
Okay. Wow, that's a good topic. I'm thinking.
Top 25 players of the last. So that's
What year was that? That was 2000, 2000.
2000, I guess, right? So anybody
Yep.
who
So
played
from
before-
year 2000 to now.
wow. I'd have to look back at some guys that come to mind and see when they stopped playing. Because I immediately was like Barry, but I was like, no, he quit before 2000, right?
Yeah.
So there's a list right there, and people that are watching on stream, they can get a little heads up as well.
Let me see if I can enlarge that.
That's pretty good.
Let me see who you got there. Tom Brady, Mahomes, Peyton Manning, Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, Aaron Rodgers, Ed Reed, loved Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Randy Moss. Are they ranked or just are they supposedly ranked?
This is ranking from 1 to 25 they have over the last
I
25.
would not have put Ray Lewis or Ed Reed in front of Randy Moss.
Interesting.
Ooh, okay.
Let me see. In my opinion, Rob Gronkowski,
Mhm.
Joe Thomas, CJ. CJ should be. I don't know. Okay, let me keep going. Luke. Is Luke Kuechly supposed to be in there?
I mean, he a defensive stud, sure, but I don't know. I mean, his
Yeah.
time was short, unfortunately.
Drew Brees, Adrian Peterson, Julius Peppers, Zach Martin, Miles Garrett, Lamar Jackson, Walter Jones. See, I think also your boy Larry Fitzgerald should be in there somewhere.
I didn't realize that he wasn't on that list.
Yeah, that would be one.
I would have thought that he should be on that list, but
What about like they don't have as much. Okay, yeah, they got Aaron on there. No, that's Aaron Donald. Aaron Rodgers is not on here. Oh yeah,
that's
he
also
is.
a
I'm sorry,
reflection
six.
one too.
He's sixth. He's
You
sixth.
know what? I never liked him as a player and a fan, because I was obviously such a huge Barry Sanders fan, but Emmitt Smith played until 2004. How is he not on there?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Emmett's not on there.
Last 4 years weren't very good. Is that part of it? Do they have to be good in the 2000s? I mean, he's the NFL's all-time leading rusher, and he's not on this list. Like,
He's
that's
not on
crazy.
there. I agree. Emmett. They don't have a tight end on there either. Not one of them. Could have been our boy that's going in the hall next week. Tight end from Detroit, play with the Chargers.
Gates, yeah, Antonio Gates. That's an interesting one to leave off. They got Gronk and they got did Gates played into the 2000s? I'd put him ahead of Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I would too. Well, I guess ahead of Travis Kelce.
It's close, maybe.
Yeah, that's close. But Larry Fitzgerald should be on there. That's so far my most blatant scenario. And then once again, I would put Randy Moss ahead of Ed Reed and Ray Lewis.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald.
I can agree with that.
In the 2000s.
We are coming back from break, guys.
Okay.
This is the M Zone.
That's right. We are back on the M Zone on the Big 1050 WTKA, online at the big1050.com. Jamie Morris stepping away to do fatherly responsibilities.
Daddy, chill.
Yes, Daddy, chill. But you got me, Matt the Hitman Missler, back inside of our WTK studios. We got Big Sweet himself, Larry Lee, joining from the studio. He's about to gotta get the practice in, because in 14, 15 days, you're gonna be getting the Lions faithful a little excited for this Hall of Fame game. And of course,
I'll be double duty. This sounds funny. I'll be using my mouth and my hands.
there you go. I mean, you got to sometimes phrasing.
My mouth on our show and my hands on my bass guitar.
There you go. And then joining us, as it's been a while since we had, I call him the homie on, Brandon Brown joining us. B, how are you, man? It's been a while.
I'm good, man. It has been a while. Had a lot going on. Had a birthday. Had a move. Had the 4th of July, obviously. Summertime, weird schedule with my kid. It's been a whirlwind. I talked to Jamie about it. He's as gracious as ever. Love that he had me back on. And I'm going to continue to try to be on as much as possible. After this week, things should settle into a little bit of some normalcy. So we'll see what it looks like moving forward. But happy to be back as always. Big Sweet, Miz. What a duo to welcome me back. I know Jamie was here for a minute, but love talking with you guys and the listeners.
Well, yeah, good hearing your voice, B Square.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's good to have our trio, this trio of sorts, while the captain has to take care of some responsibilities. We're going to open the phones up here in a moment at 734-998-1050. Question of the day. I came across if you're watching on stream, I found this graphic of the top 25 players in the last 25 years. And no surprise on this list at the top is what people who call him the GOAT, Tom Brady, at the number 1 spot. The rest of the list goes as follows: Patrick Mahomes at number 2, Peyton Manning at 3, Aaron Donald at 4, J.J. Watt at 5, Aaron Rodgers at 6, Ed Reed at 7, Ray Lewis at 8, Randy Moss at 9, Darrell Island Revis at 10, Rob Gronkowski at 11, Joe Thomas at 12, Megatron Calvin Johnson at 13, Luke Kuechly coming in at 14, LaDainian Tomlinson coming in at 15, Drew Brees 16, at 17, AP Adrian Peterson at 18. He called himself just Crack, but he is Julius Peppers. And 9, Zach Martin. I'm surprised. I think he's still a free agent. That's why the NFL insignia is next to him. At 20, Myles Garrett. Number 21, Lamar Jackson. Walter Jones at number 22. TJ Watt at 23. Terrell Owens at 24. And rounding out the top 25 on this NFL Daily podcast, 25 and 25, is tight end Travis Kelce. Now, we were kind of talking about this during the break off the air, and Big Sweet brought one player up that I'm surprised did not crack this list. And it's mind-boggling to me because of how much of not just a outstanding player he was on the field, obviously an outstanding gentleman off the field, but kind of, if you think about it now, especially when you look at the list, like, seems very underappreciated. Is our guy, former Pitt wide receiver, and Arizona Cardinal wide receiver, Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, that baffles me that he's not on there. And I got, obviously, with all these lists all the time, there's some discrepancies because they're individualized, and we all got certain guys. So there's no perfect list. I want to preface by saying that, but my adjustments on this list, first of all, is why Larry Fitzgerald is not on there. Yeah. Secondly, I would not have Ed Reed nor Ray Lewis ahead of Randy Moss. That kind of baffles me as well. Let me pull it up. Old man gotta stretch it out on my screen here. don't you think that's very low for Lamar Jackson at 21?
I think to a degree it kind of is. I mean, I would keep him on the list. Maybe he hangs around in that 2019 mark itself. I don't know per se if Zach Martin. I mean, don't get me wrong. He was an outstanding offensive lineman and guard with Dallas for the majority of his season or the majority of his career. But I don't know if I would have him that high up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where you can kind of bump him down and slide Myles Garrett and Lamar Jackson up a little bit. Maybe flip flop Garrett and Jackson in that case.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's you start to split hairs when you get into these discussions because you wonder, especially a guy like Lamar at quarterback, no Super Bowls.
Yes.
Now, do you give Zach Martin the same kind of, no Super Bowl? He's a guard. I mean, like, it's hard. It's really hard when you're talking different positions, how to put them and where to put them and stuff like that. I mean, Lamar Jackson is arguably the most dynamic quarterback to ever play the game. I mean, Michael Vick probably be in that discussion as well, but he changes the way that defenses are played in the sport. So he's like, Steph Curry type of effect on affecting the game and making it play differently. I thought the same thing about LaDainian Tomlinson. I mean, he was a different kind of player when you talk about how effective he was at catching the ball and running the ball from the running back position. He was kind of the first guy to do that at that level, but also never won a Super Bowl. But he's a running back. So it's weird. And speaking of running backs, we talked about this. I'll throw this out before we kick it back to Big Sweet there. Emmitt Smith, I can't stand him because I was a Barry Sanders diehard my entire life. But Emmitt Smith played 4 years into the 2000s. He's the NFL's all-time leading rusher, and he's not on this list. Now, I realize his final seasons with the Cardinals weren't much to speak about, but he played into the 2000s, and that's the same case for some of these other guys. Unless maybe, I guess I should look back. Maybe did all of these guys start their careers in the 2000s? Maybe that is one of
that might be the other.
Because Brady
word of the day.
That right, Brady might be right at the beginning of that. So
that might be my word of the day. Another intangible. That's the other intangible that might. Because I got another name that I think should be on there, but I guess it depends on that 2000 thing, and he might have been right at the cutoff. But Antonio Gates.
Yeah.
Antonio Gates, our very own Detroit born and raised tight end. I think was one of the top. Where was his rookie year, Miz?
I'm checking that right now.
Is he in 90s?
He was a rookie in 2003, so he should qualify if it's that.
Absolutely, he should be on this list then.
Tom Brady was a rookie in 2000, so that's probably what it is. So Emmitt Smith would be out because he started before 2000. So now that I'm looking at this list, these guys are all younger and part of this generation that's kind of wrapping up their careers right now. Or getting towards the latter part of their careers. I think Zach Martin might be the youngest guy on this list. Maybe Myles Garrett.
I was going to say, are all of them done? Let's see. Any of them current?
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is current. Rodgers is current. Garrett, Lamar, T.J. Watt, Travis Kelce. How about both Watt brothers making the list? That's pretty.
I know. Yeah. So that's a great debate. T.J. or J.J.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where TJ's still playing, so that makes it what could he still accomplish? Obviously, JJ is done. I think putting JJ at number 5 is pretty lofty. I don't know. Do you put JJ Watt ahead of a guy like Ray Lewis or Ed Reed? I agree with you.
The other one that jumps out at me just without truly dissecting this is Luke Kuechly.
Mm-hmm.
14. Is he worthy of the list? Then secondly, 14?
Yeah, that's another one where maybe positionally, 14 sounds a little high. Like I said, there's so many different factors when you're going position. When you're going any position, if you go all quarterbacks, then you've got, you go by yards and touchdowns and interceptions and percentage and wins and Super Bowls. But when you're sprinkling in every single position, you really could argue a lot of these guys in a lot of different directions in terms of where
that is true.
makes it really tricky. But that's fun. That's where it gets interesting to talk
that's
about.
what keeps the conversation going. Like 22nd, Walter Jones. You know, I need you to look up something for me too, Miz. Your boy from Michigan, Seattle Seahawks. What was his rookie year? Big offensive lineman.
The guard Hutchins.
Yeah, Hutchins.
Or is it Hutchins? It's Hutchinson also, right? Steve Hutchinson, yeah, spelled differently, or not related to Aiden Hutchinson. I know he used to get that all there.
But he was quite a player.
And he was drafted in 2001, so he would technically be qualified for this list.
He would qualify. Now,
so
I'm
Zach
a
Martin ahead of him.
Huh?
Do you put another guard like Zach Martin ahead of Steve Hutchinson, who's
See, that's a $64,000 question.
Exactly.
I would say between the two, man, I'm kind of a Hutchinson fan over Zach Martin.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's where it gets really interesting. Steve Hutchinson, a 5-time first-team All-Pro player. Zach Martin, 7-time first-team All-Pro player.
Okay. Well, maybe they got an argument.
When you go position by position and they're the same position, you can look at some stuff like that a little bit.
Yeah.
By the way, the mention of Larry Fitzgerald, I had no idea because he was just so consistently good year in, year out. You know, playing out there in Arizona, maybe Michigan people and people on this side of the country didn't pay as close of attention. Is it criminal that he was only first team All NFL one time? Once?
Yes.
Larry Fitzgerald?
Yes. Criminal.
So, maybe that's why he's not on the list when you look at the accolades a little bit, but I'm with you. He would certainly be in the discussion of maybe putting him on there.
Yeah, it blows my mind that Larry Fitz was not on this top 25 list. Makes me want to get a hold of whoever's a part of this NFL Daily, get a hold of them. Like, hey, what were you thinking when you forgot when you left Larry Fitzgerald off?
So T.O. being on there towards the bottom of the list, he was a 5-time first-team All-NFL player. That's 4 more than Larry Fitzgerald.
That's
led
true.
Led the NFL in touchdowns 3 times. I think Larry only did it once. So,
the other thing about this list, for me, it just validates how old I am. I'm sitting there, this guy was a rookie in 2000. What? No.
Yeah.
So I'm an old man. I'm an old OG.
So, Miz, I don't know if you heard, it looks like, Brady being the oldest player on this list, these players were all drafted in 2000 or later. So that's why, like, an Emmitt Smith wouldn't qualify, even though he played.
Okay. Yeah, obviously the bulk of Emmitt Smith was obviously with his time with the Cowboys, and it was the tail end of his time with Dallas, and then him going to Arizona. And I think even he would probably want to forget about his time with Arizona, but he wanted to get the mark. He wanted to get that all-time rushing record mark, and I don't blame him for that. He was already going to be immortalized as being one of the more illustrious running backs in the NFL all time. It's just a matter of, I guess, putting an official stamp on it, so to speak. But
look here, I just contradicted myself because Terrell Owens was drafted in 1996. So I'm not exactly sure what this list is doing. Yeah. I thought it was, like, if you just had to play into the year 2000s, like, how is Emmitt Smith not on this list? And I can't stand Emmitt Smith, but, like, he's got to be there.
I agree.
That's why I think a lot of us would definitely put, Larry Fitzgerald on that list somewhere. But that's really the question of the day, 734-998-1050, or since we are streaming on our social outlets on Facebook and on YouTube, if you want to weigh in on this, who's the one player that should be included on the list? Obviously, Tom Brady at the top of it, soon to be Hall of Famer. Who would you swap out of this list and put in? Obviously, a lot of us, all 3 of us, agree that the leaving Larry Fitzgerald off on the list seems borderline criminal. But what say you? 734-998-1050 is the number. Let's head to the phone lines, head down to Columbus, and talk with Hadley. Hadley, what's up?
Well, hello, 3 amigos. How are you?
Ole.
Hey,
Yeah, Brandon, good to have you back, man. Glad you're all kind of settled in with everything that's been going on. Sounds like a rather hectic last 3 weeks or whatever it was.
I mean, really since, really probably a month. But yeah, thank you for that. Feels good to be down the home stretch a little bit here and kind of settling into a schedule and a routine and some normalcy. So yeah, glad to be back on here with these guys for sure.
Well, we hope you make it a regular occurrence. Are you going to try to get? Are you going to be down there for the Canton Hall of Fame thing? Going to be there for that?
I just talked to Jamie about that today, and he wasn't sure what my availability was, so he didn't do that yet. But he said he would work on it because I believe I'm available, and I would love to be a part of that. So yeah, he's gonna look into it for me. But at the time, I hadn't been on in a while, hadn't talked to Jamie in a little bit, so he kind of went ahead without me for the time being. But we'll see. I'm gonna try.
Well, this list is rather interesting. I think Megatron is too low, personally.
At
I agree
13.
with you. I agree with you.
He should be at least top 8, Larry, or would you guess?
Yeah, because there was no one like Calvin, been around for a long time, man. You know, his size and everything and his ability. Like, you know, Jamie's big on, you know, guys, once they see you kind of thing. Well, they saw him for years and couldn't stop him. So, I'm a big CJ fan, Calvin Johnson.
And Brandon, since you've seem to have the list there, is Brady, were there any other players that were drafted in 2000 and made that list? Or was he the only one?
So actually, I'm not sure if you heard the last couple of parts. I looked up LaDainian Tomlinson started in 1997. Terrell Owens started in 1996. So, yeah, I thought as I kind of looked through it, I thought maybe it was people drafted in 2000 or later, but that apparently isn't the case. Now, obviously, everybody on this list, when you look at the names, did the bulk of their damage in the 2000s. I mean, you're talking about LT, you're talking about Terrell Owens, like they got it rolling into the 2000s and played, you know, double-digit years, but it's kind of strange that they're, you know, if you can be drafted before 2000, like where was the starting point, I guess. I don't know. A little bit misleading, I think, on that part.
I wonder how they came up with this list if you're going to go before the year 2000. Right. I guess it just depends how well the player played during this time frame, I would guess, right?
That's got to be it, which is a little bit arbitrary because I'm pretty sure LT was pretty damn good the second he started playing in the NFL. So I think he had 3 good years before 2000, and then obviously had a lot after too. So yeah, I don't know, a little bit weird, a little bit ambiguous starting point.
And how many players did you say you thought were the youngest ones that made this list?
Oh goodness, the youngest ones on this list.
Well,
I mean,
only 2.
I mean, Mahomes might be the youngest one. Yeah, Mahomes and maybe TJ Watt would probably be the 2 youngest ones on the list. I'm not sure what
there's
Miles
only 6 after guys, so I mean it's not many.
Yeah, there's not many on this that that like Mahomes is the more iconic one that's probably on this list as far as being that high up, but it's mostly because of the success that he's had.
Right.
But I would say it's probably Mahomes and maybe Lamar Jackson are probably the 2 youngest on this list, probably next, and then TJ Watt after that.
Do you think Rodgers is too high?
Personally, I do think he's a little too high on this one, and it's not me attacking Aaron Rodgers. I just think when you look at the bulk of the entire list, putting Aaron Rodgers in at number 6 on this 25 and 25 list, when you've got the likes of, as Big Sweet said, when you got Randy Moss below him, I think Darrelle Revis may actually be better than Aaron Rodgers on this list. I think Megatron is better than Aaron Rodgers on this list.
And even if you go at the same position, do you put Aaron Rodgers 10 spots ahead of Drew Brees? Like that seems
no.
A stretch.
Well, you know, for sake of argument, he several MVPs to his name. What is that? 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Several MVPs to his name. So are we talking about the present Aaron Rodgers or the career of Aaron Rodgers?
I would assume that they're going to be going in the career of Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, even if we're going the career of Drew Brees, I mean, they both have the same number of Super Bowl rings. I think the only difference that I can think of that kind of puts the two in different categories between each other is probably the success going into the postseason more than anything. And again, this is probably splitting hairs between the two, but like I said, to have a gap between Aaron Rodgers at number 6 and Drew Brees at 16, hell, even Lamar Jackson. I know Lamar doesn't have a ring either, or doesn't have a Super Bowl ring. I would put Drew Brees above Aaron Rodgers. And I honestly, I could potentially flip the coin between Lamar and Aaron Rodgers at this point. And again, this is not a hater. This is not a hater statement about Aaron Rodgers. This is me being as Switzerland as possible here.
So BB, you're the general manager of the East Oakland Inkabobs. Would you rather have Drew Rodgers? I mean, Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees in their prime?
Man, I'm probably taking Rodgers if I'm being honest with myself. In their prime, I mean, maybe the most talented arm. I mean, it's in the discussion of all time. I mean, the way from different platforms, off his back foot, rolling right, rolling left. I mean, he's in that discussion when he was in his prime, accuracy on the move, all that stuff. So I probably take Rodgers, but that's close. That's very close to me.
So with that being said, that's why I'm somewhat playing devil's advocate with this thing, because I think Aaron Rodgers might be somewhere in the right spot. If you look at his career, versus the Aaron Rodgers that's right now.
I think Rodgers had more to work with for most of his career compared to Brees, though, too. And that factors in for me. I think Drew Brees really elevated guys. Like, is Marcus Colston if he's not playing with Drew Brees? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think Drew Brees really, really raised the level of other guys. He had some good players, don't get me wrong. But I think Rodgers had better talent around him and probably a better organization from top to bottom for the bulk of his career. So that factors in a little bit too. Also, I looked it up real quick. Lamar Jackson is the youngest on this list. He's 28. Myles Garrett and TJ Watt are both 29. I'm sorry, Myles Garrett and Patrick Mahomes are both 29. TJ Watt is 30. So
I got another intangible about this list. Intangible is my word of the day.
That's your second word of the day. Your phrase of the day, though, is we shall see.
We shall see. So we shall see the intangible and of the intangible here. What about one Phillip Rivers?
When
was his rookie year? And wouldn't you like to consider him as one of the top of the last 25 years?
He was drafted in 2004. So yeah, he's right in the wheelhouse here.
Oh man, I'll be honest with you. I might say no for this list. When you look at the other quarterbacks that are on the list as well, I would probably lean towards no compared to Lamar and Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers and everyone ahead of them. Even some of the guys ahead of him.
Sorry, Phillip Rivers was never an All-Pro. Never made NFL All First or Second Team.
Okay.
Several Pro Bowls, but never was first. I mean, you got to think, dude. He's kind of like the Barkley or the Stockton and Malone of the NFL.
Right.
He was in there the whole time with Brady and Manning, and never was able to get over the hump with those guys. I mean, if your career lines up almost perfectly with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, you're not going to make first team or second team very often. And
wait a minute. Wait, you just said another name. What'd you say? Big Ben.
The Big Ben.
Ooh.
Big Ben. Got a couple Super Bowls.
Now Big Ben again, like Brandon just said, he's almost kind of the unforgotten guy. I would
Yeah,
I'd put Big Ben on that list. I probably would
yeah,
put him on the list.
yes. He won a Super Bowl. He was one
Two-time
of the top. Yeah, two. He was. Yeah, Big Ben is not on here.
Big Ben's not on there. Michael Vick's not on there. I know Vick is without a ring, but I mean, there was a reason why they called him the cheat code. There is a reason why because he really was that. I'm going to throw one out here before we go to break. But Hadley, got anything else for us?
I was just going to throw out another name I don't think you guys heard yet. And then, well, first, I'll ask you a question. You can answer this after the break or whatever. How many of those players on this list have got a Super Bowl ring? And my question is, the one name I haven't heard is Stafford. Talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, Matthew Stafford. Throw him out there.
Well, his rookie year was long before 2000, wasn't it?
No, he's
Stafford was
year 17, so he was drafted in 09.
Yeah, that was the year after the 0-16 season. That was what made him the number one pick the following draft.
So I think he's a little too old for this list.
Super Bowl once.
Yeah, one Super.
Never was a first team or second team All Pro. Only 2 Pro Bowls. A lot of bad years with the Lions in terms of wins.
Yeah,
that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, that's the. I think that with Stafford is that he may be on the next 5 or 10 on the outside, but
right.
I don't think you put him on this list. We're gonna go to a break. There's one player I want to highlight that I want to bring up with and let you guys spelunk and let you guys think about this one during the break because I see Luke Kuechly on this list. And even though he had a short career, and I think it's a feel-good kind of thing, but we talked about that NFL draft of 2000. There's one guy on this list that was taken in the first round that I'm surprised is not on this list. And I want you guys to think about it during the break. His name, Brian Urlacher.
Ooh, whoa.
So I'm gonna let you guys think about this one. Philly E, I see you on the line. We'll get you on here on the other side. Phone lines are open. The chat is open as well. 734-998-1050. Text line is open at the same number. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050 WTKA and online at thebig1050.com. All right.
Brian Urlacher has an argument.
I'm not an Urlacher fan. I think he's a result of the Bear middle linebacker, whatever it is, between Singletary and Ditka. Not Ditka, but Buckus. I think he's a benefactor of just being a Chicago Bear middle linebacker. I'm not a big Brian Urlacher fan. I thought he was good, but not all that the accolades say.
The thing about that, though, like I said, Kuechly, he was when he retired, he was really he was at the top of his game. Like he kind of almost like he was like the linebacker equivalent of like Barry Sanders. Like he was at the top of his game when he decided to hang the cleats up.
Right.
But a lot of the reason why he hung the cleats up was the injury concern and the concussion stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Urlacher was Defensive Player of the Year in 2005, 4-time first team All-Pro, 1-time second team All-Pro, 8 Pro Bowls, led the league in tackles once. He was the Rookie of the Year. That dude came out immediately and was one of the best linebackers in football.
Yeah.
Argument, man. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I'm not a Brian Urlacher fan. He was a good one. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on him or anything, but there's a few guys that are in the hall. I think they're benefactors, man. As much as I love my Broncos and everything, I think Atwater was a benefactor of Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith is the one that should be in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they don't. I liked Brian Dawkins as a player, but first team ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know about that. You know, so that's just Big Sweet's humble opinion. You know,
Hey, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up, just in case. I mean, you never know. Like, you know, the other differing opinions, you know, come up here. So I figured, you know,
I had the same not argument, but debate one time when I was in the XFL. You know, I was GM. My coach was Terrell Buckley, right?
Mm-hmm.
So me and Terrell, you know, got to debating about one time about Pro Bowls. And being an old cat, I had to ask him. I said, "Now, you know, I know he was your teammate and everything, but was Zach Thomas really all of that?" And he swore. He said, "Man, Zach Thomas was a beast." And I said, I just don't see Zach Thomas being that much of a Hall of Famer and going right in like that, you know. And maybe I'm an old man or whatever, but he convinced me that Zach Thomas was well worthy of being a Hall of Fame linebacker. I said, okay, that's kind of my theory of Urlacher. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not Earl. I never thought Urlacher was all that.
I understand. I mean, like I said, I mean, I grew up in a family of diehard Lions fans. So whenever it was a Lions Bears game, it was always, you know, God, avoid number 54 as possible. Avoid that man as much as possible.
Right. And, you know, so I think, you know, he was definitely a solid player, but I think he was also the benefactor of playing middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears.
All righty. We are coming back from breaks. Stand by, guys.
This is the M Zone.
And we're back here on the M Zone on the Big 1050 WTKA and online at the Big1050.com. Matt Missler, Brandon Brown, Big Sweet Larry Lee, here to close out this Wednesday edition as Jamie is on father responsibilities with young CJ, who he celebrated his 5th birthday last Friday. So that was one of the reasons why we were off last week is, you know, it seems to be a family thing. Your birthday? Yeah, you get the whole week. You get a whole week of celebration, maybe. But that was so he's keeping an eye on young CJ. We're going to get to the phones again here in a moment. 734-998-1050. You can text us in at the same number, or if you're watching on stream, you can weigh in on the question of the day. There was a recent top 25 players in the last 25 years, and we got a lot of question marks about some players not being on that list. Before we get back into that conversation, a couple of Michigan news bits here, and Brandon, I kind of want to get your thoughts on this as well. It sounds like the Michigan Wolverines are in the process of finalizing a preseason exhibition game coming up in October. Sounds like they may be doing 2 of them this year, kind of like what they did last year. One of which being at the Garden against St. John's, and the other one, and this coming from On3's Grant Ramey, is there's a possibility of finalizing a deal with Tennessee to play the Volunteers for an exhibition game coming up in October. So I want to get your thoughts on that before we get back into the conversation of the day.
I mean, you couldn't find 2 better opponents to tune it up, man. I mean, those are, you know, 2 of the better teams from last year. It's so, dude, I'll be completely honest and transparent. It is so hard to keep track of who's on what team in basketball.
Right.
They got, like, you know, those are 2 really good, you know, tournament deep run type of teams last year. They might be completely different this year. I mean, I'd have to do a little bit more homework to really give an opinion, but on name alone and track record and coaching, I mean, those are as good of opponents as you could ask for. A lot of times those preseason exhibition games are, you know, against the team that doesn't even belong on the court. And I don't know how much you really get out of that, but, you know, you take on a team like St. John's in the Garden in Tennessee anywhere, and you're going to get something out of that. And just while we're talking basketball, I know it's a ways off. I think the basketball program just recently tweeted all the numbers out in the jerseys of everybody that's going to be on the roster this year. And what a squad Dusty May has put together. lot to be excited about. And that'll be very early, if you want to call it a test, if they're going to be considered exhibitions and not count towards the overall record, but still a great way to kind of get ready for the season with a team that looks able to compete in the Big Ten for sure and make another deep tournament run.
Yeah, I mean, considering too that, Dusty kind of made it a way of doing a couple exhibition games. And I know last year they were Toledo and Oakland. So they weren't the, premier, highlight games, but they were always for a good cause. So I'm hoping that these are going to be kind of a like charity-esque games against both opponents. It'd be kind of great to see it pull out that way, but this is a great way without any blemishes on the record to see what Dusty May has kind of cooked up so far for this upcoming basketball season. And we'll get a full breakdown of the schedule when it gets released later on this year. So we'll see how that pans out. But 734-998-1050. I asked the guys before break. Luke Kuechly is on this top 25 of 25 list at number 14. One linebacker that went missing, and Big Sweet, I'm going to have you start off with, because I know the people that were watching on stream heard your thoughts on it, but I think the people listening on the radio would like to hear it as well. Brian Urlacher is not on this list. Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl champ, and or no, did he win a Super Bowl? No, I don't know. He did not. So he's without a ring.
Played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he played in the one against the Colts. That was where I keep getting confused about. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that Rex Grossman beat Peyton Manning at a Super Bowl. God forbid. I don't know why
that was the rain game.
That was the rain game down in Miami, I believe. So, yeah. But I want to get your let the people that are listening on the radio, your feelings on why not Brian Urlacher on this list.
Oh, okay, Chicago Bear fans, don't beat me up. Don't. I think he was a good, very, very, very good inside linebacker. But I don't think he was the all-world guy that sometimes he's made out to be. And I think he is a benefactor of playing the middle linebacker position for the Chicago Bears, i.e., Buckus, and then my draft classmate Mike Singletary. So, I think those two help to solidify the legacy of Urlacher. Was he a damn good NFL linebacker? Yes. But I don't put him in the same, this is just me, in the same category of just a world beater middle linebacker. And so if you heard us during the break, I also had a comparison in my mind. I was the general manager of the UFL Orlando Guardians team, and my head coach was Terrell Buckley, who played with the Green Bay Packers and the Miami Dolphins, among other teams. And we got into this same kind of debate one day about Zach Thomas. And I said, Buck, man, I don't know. I like Zach Thomas, think the world of him or whatever, but I don't know if he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, kind of guy that man, Buck stood up on the table for him with me like, man, Larry, you just don't know. Zach Thomas, and man, So with all that being said, I could be wrong, but I'm entitled to my opinion. And until someone convinces me otherwise, I am not all in on Urlacher.
Okay. I get it. Brandon?
I mean, you look at the list. There's only 2 linebackers on it. Ray Lewis is a given. That's nobody's going to challenge that. And we talked a little bit about Luke Kuechly, And Luke Kuechly did more in his 7 years than Urlacher did in his 12. I mean, if you go position by position where you can actually look at, I was saying earlier, it's hard to compare a quarterback to a safety. It's apples and oranges. But when you've got guys playing the same position, it's a little easier. Kuechly was a first-team All-Pro more times. He was a tackle leader more times. He was Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know. You kind of forget about Luke Kuechly a little bit because the Panthers were never that great. I mean, I know they had a pretty solid run there with Cam Newton, but he was, he was kind of a shooting star, only 7 years in the league, and so you kind of forget how good he was. But on paper, he's got considerably better numbers than Urlacher. So if you're only going to put 2 linebackers on there, and these are the 2 you got, I think you probably got it right.
Let me ask you something real quick. For conversation's sake, can you look up the stats for Zach Thomas?
Interesting name there too. Another highly productive guy. Zach Thomas. Let's see. He was drafted. Well, first of all, he was drafted in 1996. So again, we're kind of getting back to that whole why does that
like Terrell Owens? He was the same draft.
Yeah. I mean, look, 5-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team, 7-time Pro Bowler. Led the NFL in tackles twice. No Super Bowls. So, honestly, his numbers are pretty close to Kuechly's, to be honest. Like that's a pretty similar resume right there. So
with that being said, you just gave the stats for Urlacher. My theory is somewhat validated. Correct?
I think the validation checks out there. I mean, I'm not going to argue it. Also, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue any of these linebackers either.
I agree, but once again, I'm not hating on Urlacher. Was a great linebacker. Chicago Bear leader. Kudos, man. But just looking at a hard, old school lineman or something, I'm just not that big on Urlacher.
It's understandable. I totally get it. Let's close out the calls. 734-998-1050. We call him our East Coast correspondent. He is Philly Eve. What's up, Philly?
Hey, you guys I think you're dead on balls, right? Larry Fitz needs to be on this list. Boy, if anybody could be at the face of a league as a receiver, it should have been him. But I realize he's not a quarterback, but he just did everything right. He's everything that every guy in that league should aspire to be. And it's not like his measurables jump off the screen. He's more of the Jerry Rice type where, he's a hard worker and got everything out of his God-given ability. And I have to say, Kurt Warner is in the Hall of Fame, but he was on the scrap heap in the Meadowlands, right? And he goes to Arizona, and he had a career resurgence, and goes to a Super Bowl, and quite frankly, his career with the Rams wasn't enough to get him in there. What he did in L.A. or what Arizona put him over the top. And I think we really have to attribute a lot of that to Larry Fitzgerald. So absolutely, Larry Fitzgerald should be on that list. And the refreshing thing is he's not a me guy. He wasn't a diva like a lot of these clowns are today. So I think that's a great pick. And you guys literally took the words right out of my mouth. But I'm going to add a guy.
Okay.
I'm going to add Sean Taylor, because Sean Taylor was a pure football player. And if he didn't lose his life early in life, he would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is one of the greatest football players I have ever seen. You could have put him at multiple positions. He was that dude. He was almost too violent for football. That's how good he was. And God, with all these stupid rules today, oh my God, that guy would be getting fined left and right. So Sean Taylor, I like to nominate as one of those guys. Unfortunately, his life was cut short. And I have to say, this guy needs to be on that top 10 list of the receivers. We don't like these divas, and I get a lot of them can play. How do you not have Puka Nacua on that list? Speaking of football players, he is a football player that plays receiver. He absolutely, unequivocally needs to be on that top 10 list. The freaking Rams, when he was hurt, were going absolutely nowhere. He comes back. Not only did they make the playoffs, they're the only team that actually had the Eagles beat in the snow, no less, right? They had him. They had him. I attribute a lot of that to Puka Nacua. He's got to be on that list. I mean, really, you're going to take Garrett from the kid complaining all from Ohio State on the Jets, but come on, really? Give me a break. Nah, Puka's got to be on that list. And I'm going to say something very, very unpopular, but I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Lamar considered an elite quarterback. However, you need to be an elite passer, which he is not. When you take the design quarterback run off the table, whether the defense takes it away or whether it's not in the game plan, and you ask him to throw 40 times a game like the rest of the elite quarterbacks, they have no chance. Come on, 17-10 against Kansas City at home when he's throwing it 40 times. Okay? He has not had a good playoff. Not he doesn't have a ring. See, I can say that Burrow went to a Super Bowl with an awful offensive line because he played the quarterback in an elite fashion. I can say Josh was absolutely incredible in an overtime loss to Mahomes, and he got the best Mahomes we've ever seen in that man's career. That was the only time Josh was going to lose. We haven't seen anything like that out of Lamar. I don't want to hear that the guy dropped it. It's kind of like when a kid at my school has an excuse, like he legitimately was sick. But what about the other 30 times he was cut in school? I mean, the guy dropped the ball in the end zone, but like this guy's had multiple times to do something in the playoffs, and he has disappeared. I cannot put him listen, I know he's got MVPs, but until he becomes an elite passer, I cannot put him as an elite quarterback. Unless it all changes. Here's an idea. How about putting some design runs into the offense in the championship game or even in the playoffs for that matter? And maybe we're talking about a different quarterback. Talk the old Margo Blue.
Appreciate it, Philly. And Brandon, the reference that Philly was making, Jeremy Shadd, I believe it was, had Fowler from ESPN had an article from execs and bunch of higher ups about the top 10 going into this upcoming season, and Puka was an honorable mention compared to likes of Garrett Wilson and CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, you got to put Amon-Ra on that list.
I was just going to say, did Amon-Ra make the list? If he did not, then I don't even want to talk about the list.
He was number 6 on this list of wide receivers. So
I just pulled it up. I'd put him ahead of AJ Brown, but I'm okay with it. I don't know if you can go. I saw this actually. I saw somebody comparing the last 3 years of Amon-Ra versus Tyreek Hill, and Amon-Ra's got him in every category. So that's kind of interesting. And Tyreek Hill, I think, was number 3 on that list. So yeah. That's why the sports debates are fun, man. You dive into them and you try to figure them out. Certainly, we're going to be a little biased for the Sun God because of what he means to the city of Detroit and how good he's been in the resurgence for the Lions. But yeah, man, that's a fun list to look at for sure.
And we love his headstands.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. And by the way, I'm glad Philly had brought up Sean Taylor. I was taking a look at his stats in his, I guess you would call it 3.5 seasons, because his 4th season was cut short because of his untimely passing.
Yeah.
His 2006 year, 111 combined tackles, 86 of them were solo, forced 3 fumbles. In 2007, the year, unfortunately, where he passed away in November, had 5 interceptions in 9 games.
Wow.
5 picks in 9 games.
Bona fide beast.
And the hardest hit in NFL history on a kicker in the Pro Bowl. I don't remember who he hit.
In the Pro Bowl, and you know.
Yeah. I just scrolled down again that receiver list. Malik Neighbors at 7. Come on, like what are we doing?
Right.
Very promising player. He's not the 7th best receiver in the NFL. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, again, it's definitely one of those, well, I think a lot of it, especially for this upcoming year, is who is going to be the guy to throw it to him. But I assume it's probably going to be Mr. Unlimited. Giants country. I don't know what the Giants do, but we'll figure that out down the line. Big Sweet, Brandon Brown, gentlemen, an awesome way to close out the show. Thank you very much, guys. And Big Sweet, talk to you tomorrow, okay?
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
For the rest of you, thank you for joining us not only on the radio, but also on stream. And thanks for listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050 WTKA and online at thebig1050.com.
All right, guys.